Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
This week, in Atascocita, Texas, new desires, including some odd sexual demands, cause a relationship to fall apart and have the whole thing turn into a ridiculous murder plot involving many people and crazy schemes. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another wild, crazy, insane, wow, this one's no different, I'll tell you what, episode of Small Town Murder. Thank you so much. Thanks for all that you do for us. Just want to throw a couple things out there. Your Stupid Opinions is out.
It's going.
It is out. Episodes are out there. Our new podcast, all about reviews, and I'll be very honest, it's way better than we thought it was going to be. It's we thought it'd be really good, and it's 100 times better than that. So the feedback we've gotten has blown us away. We're blown away.
Overwhelmingly positive.
Thank you for checking it out. If you haven't yet, please check out Your Stupid Opinions wherever you listen to podcasts. Get it right now. And also listen to Crime and Sports while you're at it, because it's still good. It's still really good, we're telling you. So do that. Also, you want tickets for August the 26th, our Halloween spectacular virtual
Do you mean
live
October?
show. What did I say? August?
August.
Not August. October 26th. Not
Bingo.
August, because that already passed. That would be... We're going to go back in time, everybody. You really want tickets for this because, I mean, if we're going to go back in time, that's a display that you need to see. October 26th. Why would we have a Halloween one in August?
I don't know.
That is, my brain did not get into that. So definitely do that. It'll be available for a week after that as well. shutupandgivememurder.com/virtual live. Get your tickets right now. You can watch it anytime, as much as you want, as whatever. That whole week, it's yours. Anywhere in the world, in your living room, just like a regular live show, but we're going to bring the theater to your house. It's going to be awesome. So check that out. We cannot wait. And you also, while you're there, want to get tickets to December 2nd in Dallas. The only other show remaining with tickets left is that one. Right. So get in there right now and come see us in Dallas. It's going to be a fun time before it sells out. It's a big theater. We're going to have a good time. We can't wait to do that. So do that. You also certainly want Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus stuff.
Absolutely.
It's a mere cup of coffee, everyone.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Anyone, $5 a month or above, 1 cup of coffee out of your whole month. Trust us, this is way worth it. Much better. You get the whole back catalog of bonus stuff, a couple hundred episodes to binge on, and then new ones every other week. 1 crime and sports, 1 small town murder, and you get it all.
Absolutely.
This week, what you're going to get for crime and sports, we're going to talk about the TV show Pros vs. Joes. And who thought it was a good idea to have somebody who, just works in a warehouse come out and try to tackle Cordell Stewart in 2007. Just a very strange show idea and very weird, and it made for some weird times.
A mail delivery man. Race, who there was all kinds of normal ass jobs.
Yeah, and then just regular dude.
And you're playing against for sure professionals.
Yeah, guys who retired like last year too. Like they're not like if they were 60, it would be different. But they just retired. They're they're just not at the upper level of their play of a professional sport. But they'll crush you in 2 seconds. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about a very interesting case that's going to trial. And it's even crazy what's happening going up to the trial. The Sarah Boone case, the suitcase killer, quote unquote, allegedly, where she allegedly zipped her boyfriend into a suitcase and was like, there, take that, and left him there.
Stay there.
The interrogation is wild. We'll talk all about it. The cops, it's the worst run interrogation I've ever seen, ever. Ever. It's wild. They screw everything up. It's like if me and you went in, never did anything before, and they're like, interrogate this person. Oh, okay.
Let's get her.
It's a disaster. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmie will certainly mess your name up, even though he wants to get it right. Quickly, the disclaimer. It's a comedy show, everybody. We're comedians. Jokes are going to happen. Murder's also going to happen. But what we don't do, what we go out of our way not to do, is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why is that, James?
Because we're assholes.
Yeah, but
we're not scumbags. That's how that goes. So
that's a deal.
If that sounds good to you, I think we're going to have a wild time. If you think that true crime and comedy should never, ever, ever go together, well, maybe we're not for you. And maybe we are, though, but no complaining afterwards. For the rest of you, though, that want to hear a wild story, I think it's time to sit back. Let's all clear the lungs, everybody. Arms to the sky, and let's all shout, "Shut up and give me murder." Let's do this, everybody.
All right.
Let's go on a trip, shall we? All right, we're going all the way to Texas.
Hey.
Back on down to Texas. Atascocita, Texas is where we're going here. Okay. Yes, this is outside of Houston in that area, southeastern Texas. Atascocita.
Atasca.
That's how you're supposed to say it. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they say Atascocita there just because they say, some people there will say quesadilla. So, you know what I mean? Just based on the accent, I think. But it's Atascocita, Atascocita. Okay, Texas here. Now, this, if you're recognizing the tagline, this sounds familiar, and you purchased our last virtual live show on 420. This is the story from that, but with here, we can have more details because it's longer. We can do a live show. You don't want it to be 2 hours and 45 minutes long. So
that was a lot of marijuana smoke.
Yeah, a lot of weed smoking, and that was a crazy show. We had a very good time. Jimmie will not remember any of this. That's the most weed Jimmie smoked in 20 years that night. So that was a lot.
I'd love to try.
That was a lot. So like I said, southeastern Texas, outside of Houston. It's about 3.5 hours to Dallas from this area. It's in Harris County, which I believe is where Houston is too. Area code 281. Nickname for it. They didn't really dip into the creative well too deep here. No. The Big A.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't hire a marketing firm to come up with that one.
That is an incredibly
big
white
A.
man that can't pronounce the word.
Or, well, as the locals will say, this is their other motto here, quote, even we can't spell that shit. And it's on the sign. So it's
an
hard to spell.
abbreviation for this town.
Big A, buddy. That's what it is. So the history of this town, the name derives from the Atascocita military outpost and subsequent road constructed by the Spanish in 1756.
Holy.
Yes, the Atoscocita Road was from, at the time, Spanish Louisiana, which
Jesus.
Spain, I think Spain had Louisiana first. They're the ones who sold it to the French. The French ended up, obviously, Louisiana Purchase. We bought it from them. So, it's like a third hand.
Yeah.
The whole western United States is third hand. Big. It's, fourth because the Native Americans had it before that. So it's fourth hand. Like, it's just, it's very used.
If you had a car with this many owners, you'd be questioning a lot of things on it.
You're checking the Carfax. You're making sure, seeing how many accidents it's been in. Is this odometer been rolled back? What's going on? That's Louisiana.
Somebody hit something, fixed it themselves, and didn't report it. I guarantee
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not reporting this. That fender just doesn't look right. Doesn't look like the other one.
Pull it out in the garage. Fuck it.
Different grade of fiberglass. So it stretched from Louisiana into here, all the way into San Antonio. Oh. So, and it came through
far,
here.
huh?
Yeah. Somehow, Atascocita, this town, got the name of the whole road here. It was a big route for migrants moving to Texas in the 1820s and 1830s. And at first it was Atoscocito, and then it went to Atoscocita. So they went from a masculine to a feminine on that one. No one knows why or how. Yeah. Construction in this area, as far as houses and Walmarts and things of that nature, didn't start till the 1970s.
Awesome.
This area was just the middle of nowhere.
200 years of nothing.
Outside of Houston. Then when Houston spread out, Houston kind of bumped into it, basically. Suburbs you need. So in the 90s, it had 15 different neighborhoods that were all one of the fastest growing developments in the Houston area, like the greater Houston area. Yeah. It was like the suburb that was popping in the 90s there. It was named recently by U.S. News and World Report one of the best places to retire. Retire, citing Lake Houston's boating and fishing opportunities and numerous golf courses.
Oh.
So if you boat, fish, or golf, it's great. Right. But otherwise, I don't know what you're getting.
Do that, then
that's
got to be in Texas.
Is that the only, parameters for best places to retire? What's the fishing and golf lack? What if you're into other stuff? No?
I don't know. That does seem to be like what all old men or just guys in their 40s and 50s are like, fuck, I can't wait to not do this anymore so that I can just golf and fish.
I've never golfed in my life, though.
No?
No.
You've never played around a golf?
No. I've gone to a driving range before. Yeah. Where the fuck am I going to play golf?
James, you lived in Arizona for so long.
Yeah, but I'm not a golf, I'm not in the golf class. I don't.
Right, but you don't know that unless you try it.
I can drive a ball really well. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
It's fucking, but I never tried to get it in a fucking hole or anything.
That's my point. You never played a round of golf.
In my life, never.
I am fucking shocked right. Do I look, I'm fucking shocked.
I'm shocked that you look so shocked. I really am.
I understand that you are a feral house cat that doesn't necessarily do the.
I like outdoor shit though. I'm outside all the time.
Yeah, but you don't do.
I like sports.
Look, nobody goes and plays around a golf by themselves. You got to have other people with you, and that's not you.
Well, I'll take one person with me.
Yeah, but if you got two people, then the course pairs you with another couple.
That's the thing. Because if me and you, if I say let's go play golf, we're not playing with two strangers. We're just going to make fun of them the whole time. That's all that's going to happen. You can't.
That's the game.
You can't join. We can't join a group. The two of us.
It's just two other dickheads.
We can't do. Yeah, but we you know how we are though. We would be. By the end of it, we would just be making fun of those people. That's all we would do to hide our terrible golf abilities.
You can't smoke that on this course. Fuck you, I'll smoke it where I'm
outside. It's all grass. Just shut up. I can't deal with it. Yeah, no.
Just looks like I'm smoking a divot. Leave me alone.
What do you want from me? Yeah. Yeah, no, I've never.
I can't believe you've never golfed.
Never. Not in my whole life. I don't have clubs or anything.
I think I think my challenge is more to take you golfing than to a rodeo. I'd rather see you golf.
Well, I'd be more interested in golfing because I like
so much fun.
It. I like
'Cause it's
sports.
stupid.
I like
Yeah.
basketball, baseball,
Yeah.
all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So
It's
playing.
just so dumb and awful. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be fun to go be terrible at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be a good time.
I don't want to take it serious with you.
No, I'm not going to.
No.
I've
No.
never played before. I'm not going to take it serious. I'm going to go, where the fuck did that go? Jesus Christ. And I'm going to make fun of myself about it.
I don't want to be on a golf course with anybody that takes it serious. Fuck
No,
you.
God, no. Jesus
You have
Christ.
a day job. Knock it off.
We'll bet on the highest score
Yeah.
instead of the
You're a
lowest.
CPA. Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah. You should be doing this. You own a lot of khakis. I don't.
Yeah, but you're still not Phil fucking Mickelson, so eat shit.
Exactly. In 2009, the Gadberry Group named Atascocita one of the 9 from 2009 most notable high-growth areas of the United States. So it doubled in population from 2000 to 2020.
Holy.
Crazy. Yeah, this has got a higher population than normal for us, but not when the crime occurred, is the thing.
Got it.
So, reviews of this town, here we go. 5 stars.
Hey.
I have family members that lives in Atoscocita.
Okay.
I'm reading exactly how it goes. And that sounds like exactly how the person talks
Yeah.
that lives in Atoscocita. And I always love visiting the area. I was astonished how close everything is in Atoscocita. It's a small town. Yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor's office to the grocery market to the bank. Yeah, because it's a small town. That's what happens. There's not a
I
lot
couldn't believe there was a strip mall.
If you kept driving, then you'd be in the next town. That's how that
Right.
goes. Yeah, and it's just a strip mall. I like how quiet Atoscocita is at night. I do plan to live in Atoscocita in the near future, as it is the only suburb in Houston that I like the most. The only one they like the most. Which by nature, if you like it the most, it can only be the only one that you like the most.
This feels like Stevie wrote this without the
Yeah.
word astonished.
That's a tentative grasp there on the language, I would say, at best.
That's Love Songs.
3 stars.
Yeah.
Okay. My neighborhood was safe and family friendly when we moved in, but over the last several years, it's gotten way more dangerous. My next door neighbor was shot in his driveway. That is when we say it's, and we're always like, oh, whatever. Your neighbor's shot in the driveway. Yes, your neighborhood has gone downhill at that point. You can go ahead and say it.
It's gone to shit, really.
By a man that was trying to steal his car.
Oh, my God.
So he came out and said, don't steal my car, and the guy shot him.
Wow.
No word on whether he got the car or not, though, which I hope he
Or
did.
if he survived. Did he survive? I hope.
It doesn't say. Just said he was shot in the driveway. Here's 2 stars. Okay, this is a weird one. I don't feel safe here due to the people who yell at each other through car windows.
How do you hear it?
Open car windows, I assume.
Okay. Yeah.
Window holes. Anyway, so
That's the safest town because those people are giant pussies.
that's it. Yeah, if you're yelling out a car window, you're getting it all out, and
Yeah.
there's no one's getting hurt by it. So I
and
think
you're
that's
hauling
fine.
ass so nobody can hurt you.
You motherfucker, you piece of shit asshole. That's what people do is they drive the other direction and you don't care. But this person does not feel safe. Here's 2 stars. This area seemed nice. With new buildings and stores. However, the people here are not very friendly. While going to the grocery store, I've witnessed people screaming angrily out of cars at each other. Again,
That is a thing.
it must be just an endemic problem in this town because if 2 reviews out of like 15 say that, I'm sorry, that's weird. It doesn't feel like a safe place to me. Okay, then. 2 stars. I live in a trailer park. Well, there we go. We'll end that one right there because we know what's coming next.
It's not good.
I live in a trailer park, so a lot of people do not care for their homes or yards. We do not have any street lights or sidewalks. This sounds like an idyllic little neighborhood, huh?
Yeah. What trailer park has a sidewalk?
Really. Trailer parks usually don't have
It's just
sidewalks.
fucking cement or
Street lights would
pavement.
seem
That seems
helpful.
nice, yeah.
Seems like this is just a field that they plopped a bunch of trailers into, essentially. Many of the surrounding neighborhoods are government housing. Lovely. This just sounds lovely. 2 stars. In my area, I feel unsafe due to, what do you think? Angry car
shouting
window?
out of their cars.
No, gang violence and drug use.
Okay.
One scary moment in my life was when there was a convict who escaped the jail right next to my house. Well,
That's
I think
on your mom.
I think when you did that, you went, well, no one will escape. That's a calculated risk you took, and you lost. That's all. Some neighborhoods I'm too scared to drive by as well. Jesus.
Drive by
them. Holy crap. And then 3 stars. This person's the most honest review I've ever heard. Quote, haven't been anywhere else, so how would I know the difference? Thank you.
Is that real?
Yep, that's a real review from Niche.
Unbelievable.
Haven't been anywhere else, so what the fuck do I know? I'm not going to throw. Yeah, that's why review it at all is a question. That's a question for most people. Like I always say, unless they've done something horrible to you, why are you writing this?
Why are you here?
Which is the point of our new podcast, Your Stupid Opinions. It's exactly the type of stuff we're trying to figure out.
Where I go, thank you for writing this insane thing.
Fuck, man. So people in this town today, it has grown hugely, 84,222.
Holy shit.
But in 1990, it had 18,902. Yes, that much.
Oh, my God.
Yes, it's gone from...
like 4 times the size, right?
Yeah, almost
400%.
Almost 5.
Holy shit.
That's a shitload of action.
There's no way they did that right?
No, they build on floodplains there in Houston.
Right.
That's why every time there's a fucking hurricane, the whole place floods. And they go, what happened? Where's J.J. Watt? It's like, you're on a floodplain. Every fucking time this happens, guess what happens? Because we've been to Houston, and that's what the people tell us that live there. They're like, hey, we live on a fucking floodplain. That's what it is. Like, we all know it.
Or the temperature drops below 50 and they can't charge their iPhone. There's no way that this kind of growth that you can keep up with it. It's just too fast. It's too much.
Few more males than females, which is off our normal thing here. Median age is 33. It's a little bit young. Most of the people here are like married with kids. That's the type of place in the suburbs. 59% married, 44% married with children out of everyone in the town. Race of this town, 48.3% white. 19.5% black, 3.1% Asian, 26.4% Hispanic. So you get it's a mixture here. Religion in this town, 60.5% are religious. So a lot of religion down here. And as you might guess, it's a neck and neck horse race. It's a photo finish between the Catholics and the Baptists because
is that right?
That's Texas, basically. Because there's Mexican people and the whitest white people together, and you mix the most Mexican with the most white, and you get a lot of Baptists and Catholics around.
Fascinating.
And that's what it is there. So 0.6% Jewish. Almost made it there, but not quite. Sorry, everybody.
By that too.
In this county, Harris County, last election, 55.9% of the people voted Democrat and 42.7% Republican, 1.4% Independent. Unemployment rate's a bit higher than the rest of the country at the moment. Median household income here is also high, though, because it's a suburb, so people can choose to move out here. $82,361, which is about $25,000 over the national average. That's not bad at all. Cost of living here, 100 is average. Here it's 100.5.
Very good.
Very average. Housing is the low one, actually.
Really?
Median home cost, it will be swept away in a hurricane flood, so you got to worry about that. 200, but J.J. Watt will save it. He'll bring it back.
It's a real Etch-a-Sketch around here.
That's what's the thing I love about Atoscocita is if you don't like something, wait a couple years, it'll all be different. Kids' school's a piece of shit. Well, flood will take it away, and we'll have a new one in a few years. So.
Ohio says it about their weather. Texas says it about the landscape.
About the landscape, the businesses, everything.
The economy, the culture. Wait a minute.
Texas, keep on your toes. That should be the state motto.
Maybe next hurricane season.
It's 110 in the summer. It snows in the winter. Everything could be gone at any moment.
All bets are off.
All bets are off. Texas, all bets are off. So if we've convinced you the only place to be is Atascocita, Texas, we have for you the Atascocita, Texas Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here, $1,700 a month, which is well above the national average. So buying seems to be the way to go about it here. We have house number 1, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,674 square feet, kind of your average family house, 4 bedrooms,
size,
3 kids in there and all that, fresh paint and all this type of shit.
Sure.
It's a nice house, $227,000. So
not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. You got a couple of kids, you want to have a nice house, a nice little yard. There you go. Boom. House number 2, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,199 square feet. So there we go. A little bit bigger, spread out a little bit. Located in the golf course community of Walden on Lake Houston. So it's in a golf course, so you know exactly what the house looks like. It's that house there. $325,000 though for that.
Are there fees for dues? There's
$300 per year HOA fee per year.
Oh, that's great.
That's pretty low. Yeah, a lot of places that's per month. And house number 3, holy shit! This one, I said this in the virtual live, and I'll say it now. Everything is not only bigger in Texas, it's apparently also gaudier, and that's coming from an Italian. So if an Italian says, too gaudy, holy shit, start taking some gold off of it, because wow, that's a rare one. 5-bedroom, 7-bath, T-bowl for each and every B-hull.
Yeah.
8,267 square feet.
Holy shit, that's so much
That's a lot of house. That's like 3 good-sized houses. You know what I mean? 4. Jesus. 4 2,000 square foot house. 4 good-sized houses. It's on 2.17 acres.
Fantastic.
The listing says it's a lavish bounty of natural splendor. Jesus, really. They're calling it a livable forest around it. Tons of windows. Banks of windows impart views of the spa-like settings that offer breathtaking pools, sprawling grounds, a gazebo, and the largest boathouse on Lake Houston. So for some status, $2,499,000 bucks for that house. $6,050 HOA fee as well. Per year.
$6,000
per year. $6,000 a year.
Fuck.
That's a little different now. Now we're talking $500 a month's a little different. Things to do here. The Houston Whiskey Riot. You got to go to that.
Yeah, a riot.
Riot. Early bird tickets are $85 to this.
Jesus Christ.
That's $160 for a VIP ticket. You can try over 200 whiskeys.
Okay.
Which in Texas, there's going to be a lot of people screaming at each other out of car windows on the way home from this bad boy, I have a feeling.
You can try all of them?
All of them. Yes. Wow. And it says this. I love this one. There's in the Q&A there, facts. Will there be designated driver tickets available? I would hope, obviously. Yeah.
Not drinking. Yeah.
No is the answer. In the age of ride sharing and cell phones, there's no reason why a safe ride cannot be coordinated.
Figure it out on your own.
Get drunk and figure out how to get home, is what they said, rather than planning ahead, because you're going to drink 200 whiskeys and having someone, wow, that's good job, guys. Wonder why people are angrily shouting out of car windows there. I can't imagine why.
You're going to charge your friend full price to come in that's not drinking.
Jesus. It says, be a responsible whiskey drinker and make a plan for getting home that doesn't require getting behind the wheel. Okay.
Well, they did. They were going to bring a friend, but you want to charge them full price.
Well, that's what I mean. It's crazy. And then there is the Good Oil Days Festival.
Okay.
Good Oil Days.
Oh, got it. Oh, you motherfuckers.
Good Oil Days Festival was created to celebrate, I know it's humble, but I'm not calling it that.
Yeah.
Humble's rich history in the oil industry, as well as to bring business into the hub of the city. And that's in quotes for some reason. I don't know why.
We want it to be the hub.
They said it's one of the biggest events in northeastern of the area northeast of Houston. That's what it says. So, in all of that area, they're going to have food trucks and all that kind of shit. So come on out for that. And there's an oil boom raffle as well. You can go to. I don't know if you win you win a wildcat well. You just you drill a hole in it, see what you got, buddy. That's what you win.
That's a Texas scratcher right there.
You might be rich, buddy. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got to get yourself a big drill, but still, it's not exactly a quarter and scratch it off, but that's fine. Crime rate in this town, right about average.
Oh?
Maybe a drop low, but right about average here. Okay. So that's for property crime anyway.
All right. Yeah.
Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime is about half of the national average.
Very safe.
This is a safe, nice little suburb that people live in where the grocery store and the doctor's office and the bank are all in one strip mall. Everything's nice. So
they do their deed in their own car. They don't hurt anybody.
Nobody. Yeah, they will get drunk and yell at you, but that's another story.
That's not murder, rape, robbery, or assault, so who cares?
Not my problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That said, let's talk about some murder here. Okay, this is a twisty, wild, crazy-ass case here. So, all right, here we go. Let's go back in time to 1994 is when everything's going to happen, but we'll talk kind of before that and lead up to 1994. Yeah. Let's talk about a guy named Bob. Robert Allen Fratta, Fratta.
Yeah.
Bob. So, Bob, he's born in 1957, Bob is. Yeah. Apparently, he was very, as a child, he was very traumatized by going out on a hunting trip with his father. That wasn't the traumatizing part. He was fine with that when he was a teenager. But his father suffered a heart attack and dropped dead in the middle of the hunting trip.
Oh, Jesus.
Like just the two of them out in the woods, and he just dropped dead. So...
And he has to, he's dead. Like there's no saving.
It was one of those, you're not, Bob, go get help as he clutches
water
his
balloon
chest.
in his chest.
Yeah, he was like, hey, Bob, this over here looks like a, and he was, I think it's one of those. Just,
did you have to field dress him?
He definitely hung him from a tree. He didn't field dress him. He was going to see if the ambulance would come. If not, he'd get to it. But he was like, I hung him up here next to the 7-pointer I got. So
poor bastard. That's fucked up, man.
That's pretty wild. So that was when he was a teenager. And as he grows up here, when he's 26, he meets a woman and gets married in 1983. He marries a woman named Farah. So her name's going to be Farah Fratta, which is it's a tough name. Farah Fratta.
You got to say them together. But if they don't work, you got to look him in the eye and say, I can't do it.
I'm either that or I'm keeping my name. I'm not being Farah Fratta. In 1983, that was a big deal. Now, who cares? Sarah kept her name. I don't give a shit. I don't blame her. I was like, do you want to be Pietragallo? You want to spell that out for everybody? No, you don't. Stick with yours. Trust me. You'll be fine. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. The most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Yeah, it's much easier paperwork.
Oh, God, so much easier. So Farah, her maiden name is Baquer, B-A-Q-U-E-R. Backer?
Backer, I guess.
Backer, Baquer, depending on how French you want to get with it.
Yeah, Baquer.
Baquer, or it's Backer. In Texas, it's Backer.
Yeah, she likes it because it sounds like when they say tobacco real fast.
Yeah, Backer. Got a lip full of Backer. But she is not even born in this country. So in Texas, it's different. She is born in Surrey, England, actually.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of English girls roaming around southeastern Texas. Don't you know that? It's a very popular place for them to end up.
Queen of England shit down there.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Very classy. There's a pipeline just right from London to southeastern Texas. No one can figure it out or stop it. But they have like an Arrested Development, a Wee Britain there and everything. She's born in 1961, so she's about 4 years younger than Bob. But that's all right. He's 26, she's 22. Perfect. Sure. They get married. Everything's wonderful. They're going to end up having 3 kids together.
Great.
3 kids. They have in 1987, they have a son named Bradley. In 1988, they have a son named Daniel. Okay. And in 1990, they have a daughter named Amber.
Oh, yeah.
So pump 3 years. They pump out 3 kids within 3 years. Done, done, and done. So that's impressive there. Just get them all done.
Oh, God, that's so hard, though, when they're that little. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's wild. Now, my brother has 2 small ones, and I'm like, what are you doing?
A few months old to 3 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
When they were like real little, I was like, what have you done? What is going on? What is wrong with you two?
Why'd you do this?
Have you no self-preservation? How could you do this? I'm impressed that you haven't killed them both, honestly, at this point.
Poor bastard's going to lose his hair, man.
So the 3 of them, they have them real quick. And Bob's, well, I think maybe also, Bob is pretty horny, as we'll find out.
Oh, good for you, Bob.
That might help in this situation. These might not all be on purpose. We don't know.
No.
Farah works for American Airlines for a few years.
Yeah.
So, not like on planes, but not as a flight attendant.
Oh, just on the ground?
On the ground
phone?
somewhere, on the phone, or maybe a ticket counter or something like that. Okay. Now, Bob was working as a Missouri City public safety officer. Missouri City is the city.
Public safety?
Missouri City public safety officer, which...
Like a cop?
No, not a cop, a public safety officer, which is exactly what our friend Dennis Rader did for a living. He was a compliance officer. Public safety and compliance are just different. Yeah. It's the different names for the same. A non-cop who walks around with a badge on.
Yeah.
Looking like a cop.
Doing some cop shit.
Doing some cop shit. Not the exact same job
as
Dennis
cop
Rader,
shit, but some cop shit.
Some cop-ish shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Light cop shit.
Cop-adjacent horse shit is what they're doing.
Diet cop.
Yeah. Diet cop. Cop light is what this is.
Try some cop light.
Try a big glass. It's bubblier, actually, than regular cop. Cop light is much better. So there, at the time, it was the way it was described was a hybrid firefighter / police officer.
Huh.
But not a police officer.
Okay.
But sort of a police officer.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's one of those things. He wants to be a cop because he tried to be in the Houston Police Department. He didn't start out here. He tried to be in the Houston Department, but he tested there, and subsequent to his testing, he is twice denied a place in their police academy.
Ouch.
So, yeah, Bob's not their specimen of their specific what they're looking for, so he goes to Missouri City and takes whatever they got, which is...
Gets some column A, column B, and
walk
picks
around,
up a job. Yeah.
make sure shit's all right, and then if something catches on fire, grab a hose. Just
change some batteries and some smoke detectors.
Yeah, and break people's balls for parking infractions or something of that nature, infractions of that type. So marriage, too, is not going well after a while.
Really?
Yeah, once they're married 8 years or so, 7, 8 years, once the kids are all there, and, it's hard to raise 3 little kids. We've talked about this before. 3 little kids, you're working, everybody's working, you're trying to not only pay the bills, keep the kids alive, make sure they learn how to fucking read and all that kind of shit. It's a lot of pressure on people. And people snap. It's like I've said it 100 times. It's like running a small business that will never be profitable. That's what it is. You're never going to make a profit. At most, you're just like, phew, got done with the day and it's over with. And, it's really hard.
We made the bills this month, but look,
So
next month's already looking like it's going to be behind.
Think about working with a business partner where you work 18 hours a day next to them and no one ever makes anything money-wise out of it. You two are going to fucking fight after a while. That's just how it is. There's going to be tension and strain on it, and it does. But his complaints are different than, it's not, we don't spend time together, and she's, I don't know, I want a little more of this, a little more with that. His whole problem was that sex with her was not as exciting as he wanted it to be. Yeah, you have 3 kids. That's called, you have 3 kids.
Right. You fuck when it's quiet. That's what you get. You fuck when
it's quiet.
Yeah.
In about 15 years, when they're all out of the house, you can fuck on the kitchen island all you want. Yeah. Enjoy. Just sweep the spices off with your free hand and plow her right there on last night's garlic bread. It doesn't matter. We're fine with that.
And you say the filthiest shit between your ears. You don't say it out loud because the kids might hear. I'm sorry. That's just, you've got 3 little ones. It's not easy
choices.
Right. And one may be into it and the other may not right now. And,
yeah.
And she may only be into it from time to time because, I don't know, she just wiped an asshole.
3 assholes, to be exact. Right. And on top of that, that's kind of why, marriage, people who are married will have, hotel sex. That's, they'll go to, we got one night in a hotel, we can really tie one on and go crazy. Because you don't get to do that around the house very often, and that's just a decision you make. You go, do I want to have freaky sex all day, every day, all around the house, or would I like to have a family? One of those.
There it is.
They don't go together. You can have freaky sex and have a great sex life if you're married with kids and all that kind of shit, but 3 little kids, it ain't happening.
Right.
I'm sorry, unless you have a lot of help. Like a lot of nannies that live there that have bad hearing.
Yeah, you're going to do a lot of fantasizing and jerking off over the toilet and flushing the evidence. That's what you do.
Otherwise, you need hearing-impaired nannies. And you can have a good time. So he tells people that when they first met, Farrah had pursued him relentlessly.
Yeah.
He said, quote, "In the beginning, I wasn't very attracted to her physically." This is a quote from
what?
him. In the beginning, we're just, I was like, no good. Huh. Quote, but she treated me wonderfully.
Licked my balls.
This is the Eddie Murphy raw. Any woman can have any man. All you have to do is cater to his ego, and that's exactly what it is. Even if we're like, I don't really like you, we're like, well, I don't know, she's being really nice to me, and eventually we'll give in. Whereas that doesn't work with a woman.
Yeah.
They'll respect you less for that. You know what I mean? They'll be like,
guys
Eddie won't leave me alone.
But she's 69's a lot. And then a girl will be like, he tries to 69 all the time.
It's all the time. But
she hates it, whereas he loves it.
He's not, and for him too, he's not scared of her. It's not like she's going to break into his house and fucking rape him or anything. Yeah. So it's like, she's just some chick that, is coming on to me over here.
Sure.
Quote, "She was already engaged, but she kept pursuing me knowing I was dating other women."
Okay.
So she was ready to break up her pending marriage to chase after a guy who was playing the field openly.
Who's a playboy and enjoying freaky sex.
Yeah, and she was like, no, I'm going to tame you, apparently. He said, quote, "She wanted to cook for me, clean for me, do my clothes for me. I was like, this woman's wonderful." Yeah. Yeah.
He needs that.
"I grew to love her and fall in love with her."
What a pig.
She just, she did everything for me and made my life so easy. She was washing my clothes for me and, kissing my ass. And I'm sure she let him get away with a lot of bullshit as far as, he said something stupid and she was like, I'm going to let that go.
But what is she getting out of it to where she wants to do this stuff to...
This is the thing though. This is how Bob is telling it. This is a lot of things you need to know about Bob. Bob thinks very highly of himself.
Oh.
Bob works out a lot at the gym. Bob cares about his body, and Bob is like, I'm a handsome guy. Look at me, and I'm I play the field, and I got a badge, and I work out all the time. And, he thinks very highly of himself. So that's the huge ego. This is the way he sees it, which might not be reality.
Okay, yeah.
Later on, he was asked if he thought she was beautiful.
Okay.
And he gives a long pause.
Oh, Bob. Anything you say is unconvincing now.
Unless he stops and says, I think she's the most beautiful. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a sunset. I haven't seen a rose bloom. I haven't seen an ocean with the same intensity and twinkle
glitter.
as the blue in her eyes. I haven't. So you know what? The answer is not beautiful, the most beautiful.
Yeah.
Unless that's your answer, the pause is bad. If that's your answer, pause away. If you're thinking about what poetic fucking thing she is more beautiful than, great.
Otherwise, we know you're thinking of how to say this softly, and you're a dick.
This is what he said.
Yeah.
Quote, I thought she was attractive, but she was only 5'4". Oh, well then. Which, by the way, is the average size for an American female adult. So, adult
5'4" is pretty good. Yeah.
Well, whatever. What the hell does height matter with that?
Right.
I've gone out with, in my life, women who are 6 feet tall. I've gone out with women who are 4'11". My wife's 5'1". Everything in between. It doesn't matter. I've never thought of height as a deal breaker for a woman. For me, I don't care. I'd like her to not be taller than me. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd like her to not be like 6'7". Other than that, I've never even thought about it. Doesn't matter.
I don't think. You know, my type of woman is the one that goes, I like Jimmie. That's my guy.
Yeah. Because we're not insane and thinking that we can get all these women.
I can't do it.
He's like, she's only 5'4". He's narrowed it to, I need hot and tall and cook for me. And this is a lot to ask of women. Jesus Christ.
You're not going to find that one, guy.
He said, quote, I wanted to marry a woman who was taller than that.
Oh.
That was his plan. Marry a taller woman.
Fascinating, man.
It gets better. She didn't meet the physical attributes of what I was looking for in a wife.
What? Why'd you marry her then?
Well, he said it was insecurity because I was short and skinny. He's like one of these ads in a workout magazine. That's how I felt then. But then once I started getting in the gym and working out, now I'm great. But he was like, I was so insecure that I was looking for like a woman who was like some tall, hot, like whatever David Spade did for 30 years. Like he's got that disease.
And still does.
Yeah, and still does somehow. But
it's wild.
You can only pull that off when you're famous, bro. Sorry. That's
David Spade's like 5'4".
Yeah. Are you Joe Dirt? I don't think so. And he's a hideous little goblin, too, in real life. That's the other thing.
He's not a great-looking man.
They put a lot of makeup on him in movies, I mean, back in the day. But we saw it in comedy for
years.
He slays out there.
Unbelievable.
So he wants, at the point in his marriage when they're at now, where he's unhappy sexually, what does he want from her, first of all? Is he asking for, like, sex more than once a month or something, and she's going, no, I don't want to? Is she frigid? Is it like some sort of, you know what I'm saying? Or is it the fact that he wants what he wants, which is this? Oh, boy. He wants to watch his wife engage in lesbian sexual activities, he said. Mm-hmm. Well, if your wife's not into chicks, then sorry.
Yeah, that's a tough ask.
Yeah. How would you feel if she was like, I'd love to see a guy just pound you right in the can. Just bend you right over our kitchen counter and give it to you on top of the garlic bread. I'd love to see that.
You know what? I'd even go even softer and just be like, what if she said, I want to watch a dude blow you?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He's doing nothing except for placing his penis in another man's mouth, which is still a gay act. And are you comfortable with that?
Technically a gayer act, I would say, honestly. If you got to look at it, that's...
Yeah, you got to watch it.
You got to see it. I think that, to me, that's a more...
Are you asking her to go down on another woman or let another woman go? But either way, his question is not, will you please engage in this? The question is, will you please engage in this while I'm in the room so that maybe I can get introduced into two chicks?
I want to watch. He wants to watch, and he wants it all. He wants lesbian, sexual activities of all kinds. I want you guys to be, I want this to be my own porn that I'm directing. Yeah. Except we're not taping it, but I'll tell you what to do, and I can.
Yeah, we're taping it in my brain. That's for sure. Okay, I'm never gonna forget this.
That's the most normal thing that he wants.
Oh,
okay. And again, we're not judging people's sexual proclivities. I get it that however our fucking brains work, somewhere along the line, the divots in the road and the rains have eroded certain things and made certain things more, and sometimes you need whatever to come. I get that. I completely get it, and as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, great. But these particular
We've all got a
things,
different golf course, James.
we all have a different one. That's it. This guy's dog leg swings way over to the one direction, though. The combination of things that he wants are very good for a comedian to talk about. We'll put it that way, because they're insane. Okay, he wants, obviously, I want you to fuck around with another woman. I'd also love it if you would choke me while I masturbate, which, I mean, plenty of girls like to be choked, and that's fine. But he puts an extra spin on it while you pee on me.
He wants that.
Yes, I'd like to masturbate while you choke me and pee on me at the same time.
Oh, where and how? Like, on your chest? Is that what he wants?
Wherever. He needs to feel the pee. Well, if she's choking him, where she'd be able to pee is limited because she's got his hands around her. She's got her hands around his neck, so it's limited. She can only get down to about the pelvic area at best.
Unless she flips, if he's on his back doing she could piss right in his fucking face.
But then he's going to have a hard time jerking it. Because he's going to have less freedom to jerk because he's laying on it. So
pee on me.
Pee on me. Then the coup de
capper, the pièce de résistance.
The cherry on top of this bastard is, if you want to call it that, this Sunday that he's making.
Oh, God.
Okay, so you do all of that, and I'm almost there, but then the capper will really make me pop here. Shit in my mouth, would you? So, when you're done 69 on that lady, hop on my chest, give me a good choke down while I'm jerking it, pee on me, and then, but hold in the other, because when you're done with that, I really need you to hover above me and shit in my mouth. That way I can come. See what I mean? We can judge that, right? That's
as far,
a little light bondage, a little, whatever you got to do. I don't give a shit. This is.
He gives a shit. He wants her to give a shit.
Shit in my mouth? That's too much, right? I thought he was happy with the dinner she cooked. I guess not. It's so nice, I'd like to taste it twice. Wow,
unfucking real though. Like, listen, but not every pee-pee time is poo-poo time, but every poo-poo time is definitely pee-pee time.
It's gonna be something.
So she can do both.
That's what I mean. But he likes him. I don't understand. Bad. So sorry, everybody, for being.
It's vile, but
if you're listening to this like in the morning, you're eating like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich out there right now. You're like, oh Jesus, I apologize, honestly.
You got your blueberries on your cottage cheese.
You know what?
I don't know what to tell you.
If we got to deal with it, so do you. That's how this works. So a Dr. Lawrence Abrams is assigned by the family court to evaluate Farrah, Bob, and the children to make a custody recommendation as they're starting to break up here.
Yeah.
So who should go with where? I hope it's her.
Yeah.
Let's just.
If he filed divorce based on her saying no to those requests, it's kind of fucked up.
Her filing is interesting though because okay. Based on interviews with Farrah and Bob about the masochistic sexual behaviors that Farrah describes, the doctor formed an opinion that they had a, quote, pretty sick relationship. Oh. Which, is that a medical term? Pretty sick? I
Based on those
pretty
requests.
Sick.
I mean, if you've gotten to a point where you can actually get those words out of your mouth to request that, it's going to be, it's certainly sick. It's certainly sick by now.
But would you... What kind of a doctor do you just describe something to and they go, ew? That's not normal for a doctor. I think the first thing they train you at in any medical school is don't say gross or ew. Whatever you do. Even if that's what you want to say, you go, interesting. That's the word you say to replace it. Interesting.
Really?
A covers a multitude of sins. So...
Or just start scribbling. Write the word gross, but don't say it.
Nod your head knowingly. Do those things. Right? That's day one of medical school. Before you know anything about the human anatomy, you need to know this. Nod your head knowingly. Wow. So he wrote that Bob was, quote, into eating Farrah's defecation and swallowing her urine.
Okay.
Her urine, not on my chest, in my mouth.
Yeah.
Right. That's the grossest slush puppy ever. Other aspects of masochistic sexual behavior, such as having her step on his face and throat. Yeah. Okay. Farrah went along with it for some time, the doctor goes on to say.
She's an angel.
She tried to make it work.
Yeah.
She'll do whatever. She has 3 kids. She's trying to make her marriage work. If I got to pee on this guy to make it work, I guess I'll go get some I'll go get some plastic bags from under the sink and lay it down over the bed. That's all I can do at this point, right? I mean, what else can we do? Get the tarp off the car. Get it off the car. We're bringing it in the bedroom.
She damn did it.
She did it. They said that this was the most... this doctor said later on that this was the most extreme sexual deviancy that he had ever seen for any one couple. Yeah. Now, this is in the 90s in southeastern Texas, so I'm sure shit's gotten weirder other places. Like, I'm sure someone in West Hollywood would probably laugh and be like, you've seen nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing yet. Trust me.
I painted a rooster on my cock and fucked a man's face.
And it was wonderful. We sold tickets to it and made a decent turnout.
Yeah. So, people on OnlyFans been clamoring for a take 2.
They wanted it, yeah. So Farrah says that her husband wanted her to do things to him sexually that not only embarrassed her, but sickened her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because poop is involved. So
right, there's bacteria.
The lawyer said, quote, she showed me some stains in the closet where some things went on. Oh, no. In the closet. Get in the closet. Come on, we're getting in the closet so you can shit in my mouth is not an attractive... Come on.
That is the indicator of what's about to happen tonight when he opens the closet.
Yeah, and she's like, okay.
Hey, babe. Oh, God.
Fine. She's so much resolve for that carpet in there. There's just bottles of resolve lined up.
I thought you meant her.
No, she has a lot of resolve, but she also needs bottles of resolve. She does have a lot of resolve in every way.
She does. Both ways, yeah.
So the lawyer said she had to get out, had to for the kids' sake. They couldn't be around something like that. Well, they're not around something like that. That's a stupid thing to say. As long as he's not bringing his sexual things around the kids, what they do in the privacy of their locked bedroom behind closed doors. If she was into it, would that be bad for the kids? No, they would never know what the... Do you know anything that your mother ever did sexually with anybody?
Thank God, no.
Thank the Lord, fucking no. Exactly. Yeah. So you have no idea what's going on as a child.
But
unless they're terrible parents.
My stepbrother did bring over, when he came to visit, an Adam and Eve magazine when I was like 8. I saw that for the first time. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, my mom had it in her drawer. I'm like, why do you have it?
Hold on. Let me look at this for a while, and I'll come back to you.
I don't want to see this.
Ask you more questions.
Like, she and her husband do this. I'm like, oh, my God.
God. So here is another woman to enter the picture. Helen Black Pace is her name.
Uh-huh.
She met Bob on a phone chat line in 89 or 90. These are the late night 900. Ooh, we're looking for sexy men in your area. We're all just sitting around so horny with like 8 chicks dressed in fuchsia sitting in a fucking bedroom together.
Sitting around. We just need you, young stud.
We're all sitting in puddles. Just call so we can fawn over you. That was what it was. And I'm sure
ankles are wet, for Christ's sake.
I was a kid, obviously. I never called, but I would assume if you called, it would just be like 60 dudes. You're like, where's that chick that was on the line? Is she still here? Is someone going to make me come or what? Because I don't care who starts talking, but somebody starts saying some dirty shit that's cost $4.99 a minute.
He met her on a 1-900?
Yes, yeah. They chatted regularly, apparently, and their question, this is the weird thing. It was a telephone chat line. I don't think this was a sex line, though. This was like a just chat line.
Yeah, live links or some shit like that.
Yeah, this is when there was no chat rooms on the internet. 3 years from now, AOL, and it was fine. But now...
Ruins this whole thing.
Ruins this whole thing. So they would chat regularly. After a few months, it turned very sexual.
Yeah.
During these conversations, Bob talked about the things that he likes sexually. He said that he liked tying up his wife, or being tied up while he and 2 other women, him and his wife and some other chick all have sex. He liked that.
Yeah.
Then they had like some fantasy talk. They had some phone sex where they had some fantasy talk, and she participated in the conversations and went along with the fantasies of, oh yeah, I'd love to lick your wife's fucking, all that shit. Yeah. So eventually they meet in person, though, as these relationships tend to happen. Yeah, apparently it's,
so you're the guy that's been saying all that.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough, man. It's much easier to say the shit when you don't know who I am.
Well, pre-internet, too. Like, this is, like, not even typing it out. This is, you have to say it with your voice. This is, you have to say it with your mouth.
Oh, boy.
She said on one occasion, Bob called her and said... he wants to stop by her apartment one morning.
Oh, boy.
Just, pop on in, wake her up, and have her shit and piss on him and in his mouth.
God damn it.
So if that's possible.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to stop by and do that. So, cool?
Wait.
Is that all right with you?
Alarm clock you? I don't know what that is.
That's called the alarm clock.
Yeah.
No, I would think it's called the alarm clock if he woke her up with shit and piss. But if you wake someone up to shit and piss on you, what's that called? To wake someone up to need their
button.
That is, everyone out there, come up with something for that, because it's backwards of everything that we've done. The reverse alarm clock.
Wake you up to shit on me.
Yeah, wake you up before you go, literally.
Yeah, the early bird.
Because you'll be going on me. She told him, I won't do that. No, I won't shit on you. I'm not into that. Yeah, and she let him know that she was honestly disgusted by the suggestion of it.
Okay.
Which I assume he's probably encountered this a lot, by the way.
It's probably the most common response to that question.
How many women do you have to ask, please shit in my mouth, before you get one that's like, fuck yeah, baby, yeah. Get down there. No, get in the closet. Fuck
I wish it was all of them, but it's not.
I ate corn last night. Come on, buddy.
Yikes, man.
I had corn and Del Taco. Line it up.
I just ate nothing but corn, peanuts, and olives.
It's coming. Come on, buddy. So
nothing holding it together.
No, it's going to be very easy. Oh, this is disgusting. Okay.
Yeah.
No more disgustingness. We'll try not to have any more poop talks. Okay.
It's impossible. The man's asking for it.
He's asking for it. That's the problem. He's literally asking for it. He's asking them for it, and he's asking us for the abuse, if I'm being honest here. So that was the last time he brought it up with her.
Yeah.
He realized, okay, that's a no-go. She wasn't like, I don't really like. She was like, don't ever fucking spring that up again. That's gross. And he was like, okay, noted.
She didn't say maybe. She said disgusting. I'm not making it. The fuck out of my shop.
Get the fuck out of my shop is exactly what she said. She gave a wagon wheel response. That's disgusting. I'm not making that. Get out of my shop. So enter Minnie Lawrence.
Okay.
Minnie Lawrence is described in court documents as an overweight phone sex worker.
Yeah.
So that's just how she's described.
Phone sex worker.
Yeah. She's a phone. Yeah. With no video.
Right.
So she said, quote, this is her Minnie's quotes here, Minnie Lawrence, about Bob. Quote, he knew that I was large and he wanted me to sit on his face.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's okay, fine. Yeah, and a lot of times he wanted me to go to the bathroom on him.
A lot of the times.
A lot of the times. He wanted to tie up his wife and have sex with him and with her. And I don't remember everything, but that's the general basis. Tie you up, tie me up, fuck my wife, shit in my mouth. You know the routine by now.
It's the same. Yep.
What Bob's into?
It's the Bob.
It's the number 4. That's the Bob special. It's the old.
Yeah.
That's the old tie and poop.
God damn it.
Minnie said that she meant. They said, well, what do you mean by? Because at first she said he wanted me to go to the bathroom on him. So they said, well, what do you mean by that? She said, wanting her to go to the bathroom on him was to defecate on him.
Oh, God.
She finally meets him in person in April of 1990.
Yeah.
So she said, quote, almost every time he saw me, he wanted either to see my breasts or to play with my breasts. Okay, this is the first normal thing I've heard from him so far.
Thank God he's got average shit somewhere.
Thank God he likes tits, too. You know what I mean? He's not just like, come on, let me see a crown. Like, that would be horrible. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment, and Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
But basically, no matter where it was, so they could be, in the food court of the mall, and he's like, let me see your titties. Quote, I thought he was charming, and he seemed to care about his family and his kids, but he actually seemed very kinky in nature, if you will, sexually.
Sure, yeah.
Clearly. She said they usually talked every month or 2 months, and she visited him once at his job as a public. I'm just having this phone sex chick come by and wow, as a public safety officer in Missouri City, but never met his wife or his children or gone to his home. That's normal. Yeah. So at work, this guy, what kind of guy is he at work, Bob? We know he's weird at home.
Yeah.
What's he like at work? Well, there's a guy named Jerry Parker who talks about it. He said that while the divorce was going on, while he's breaking up with Farrah, he would bring all types of women to the fire station where they worked.
Really?
Because he's got a fight. Like, I'll show you around the fire station. You can pet the Dalmatian. Yeah. I mean, dude, this is a...
Slide up and down a couple poles.
Yeah, I got some poles for you.
Yeah.
It's not bad here. He seemed to be, he always said, this is what Jerry Parker said, that Bob seemed to be domineering and controlling toward those women.
Yeah.
At one point, Jerry said that Bob kept lifting up the back of one woman's dress. Continue, like he did it like 20 times, trying to show her ass to coworkers. Like, check out her ass under her dress. And the woman would simply say, no, and pull her dress down, but not get like, not go, motherfucker, I'm going to punch you in the dick if you don't stop doing that.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what the fuck? He also said that Bob told another of these women that he was with to take her tits out. Take your tits out and show everybody. And the woman did. She showed everybody. Okay, yeah. So I don't know what kind of chicks he's picking up, but apparently easygoing ones.
Yeah, fun ones. They're a party.
He sometimes talked to Jerry, here his coworker, about his experiences in going to gay bars as well.
Yeah.
He's into whatever, man, and about his sexual encounters involving multiple partners.
Yeah.
On one occasion, he told Jerry that he, quote, liked to have women defecate on his face.
He told somebody.
He brought that up at work. Talk about water cooler talk.
That's your job.
You hear Jerry likes to get shit in his face? You hear that? Jesus Christ. I was talking to him yesterday. He told what?
Just leaning on a bottle of sparklets and how's your day? Pretty good.
Yeah.
I hired a woman to shit in my mouth last night. Say again?
Well, at first, he thought he was joking.
Yeah.
He thought he was the guy that was like, oh, I love that. We all have a friend who says they like disgusting. So we know they're not really into the shit they're saying they like. They're just fucking, They're just gross guys. That's their sense of humor. We all know that guy. And he said, I thought he was joking. And he said that I thought it was funny at first. He's like, that one, I get her shit right in my mouth. And he was like, oh, it's funny. It's not expected. You know what I mean? That was pretty funny, I guess.
I never, ever would think that's funny.
No, that's right. I was trying to find the humor in it there. I was like, yeah, he shits in my mouth. That's pretty funny, right? I don't see it. But at first he tried to take it as like, that's good. This is this guy's sense of humor. I mean, and you know, dude, you've worked at like the electric company. When you work around like guys, they say gross shit all the time like that, where you're like, I don't know if this guy's joking or not. I don't fucking care, whatever. So he said,
shit in my mouth?
Shit in my mouth. That's a weird thing to. It's so silly that you think maybe he's just being silly. Then he said,
as far as you can go, though.
That's what I mean. What else is there?
Right.
Fucking put some whipped cream on it. Like I don't.
That's right. Apart from topping it or bloodletting, there's no way to get worse.
I don't know how else to get worse besides making your own hole and fucking that. Maybe that would be the only thing I could think of. So he said it was funny at first, but then once he figured out he was serious and he kept bringing it up, he said it was just gross after that. Just
as
nasty.
soon as Bob didn't smile.
Yeah. He was like, no, I'm serious. It's delicious. So 1992, Farrah officially files for divorce. Bob doesn't want a divorce. He thinks they can work it out. He thinks they're just, it's small issues here.
Yeah.
But he thought they could resolve their problems without a divorce. If they could do that, he said, the way I think we could solve this, he's got a solution. At least he's not just saying we can figure it out. He's got a solution. This is what will make it better. We won't get a divorce. Everything will be fine. If only, Farrah, you would just agree to have an open marriage. Then it would be great.
Oh, God, yeah.
So she wants a divorce, and he's trying to reel her back in with let me fuck other chicks, which is a weird...
Or is he trying to reel her back in with...
Dangle.
Let's stay together. You can just bang other guys. But the problem is, like, a normal dude that she dates is going to want a fucking relationship. And that, what are you talking about? It can't be.
Yeah.
We need to end this. Stop it.
She's looking for more than someone to just shit in her mouth. That's the difference. You know what I mean? She's looking for, like, a partner to be with. And he's like, where's that phone sex chick? I want to take her tits out in a fucking... in a shop,
have an open relationship. An open relationship doesn't trim the fucking hedges. No, I don't want an open relationship.
He told his wife after the divorce threats that why didn't they consider an open marriage? He said, I've seen shows on TV where the open marriages work.
Okay.
There was talk shows. That was a very popular subject of your Sally Jesse Raphaels and your Geraldos and your Donahues back in the early 90s was, we have an open marriage and it's great. Here's our girlfriend that comes over all the time and my wife doesn't mind and everything's wonderful. They cook dinner together, for Christ's sake.
The vast majority of open relationships are he gets to fuck other people and she can fuck the chicks too if she wants.
That's a guy's version of an open relationship. You can join me and this chick I hooked up with if you feel like it. If not, just be cool with me banging her. So, yeah, he said that I've seen it on TV, and he said that kept marriages going. And, he said you can have your marriage and have fun at the same time. It's great. God. So, yeah, he told everybody he wants to have an open marriage. Two of their friends specifically said later on about Bob's personal definition of an open marriage. The one said that Bob's idea of an open marriage included watching his wife have sex with other women, even though she doesn't want to.
Right.
Open for you to do things you don't want to do sexually. The second person said that his idea of an open marriage, as explained to them by Bob, included having sex with his wife just in combination, sometimes with other women, sometimes he just goes out and has sex with other women.
Right.
At no point did he mention she can date dudes, too. That never came up. So he has other requirements for reconciliation as well. God. That's not enough here, obviously here. Obviously, weird sex. Listen, you got to let me bang other women, bring other women home, so you bang them, shit in my mouth in the closet. You know the deal. You know my list. So Farrah, hoped that somehow she could convince him to consult a doctor and get some professional help and maybe bring him back to what she once knew him as in 1983 when he wasn't asking for weird golden showers and fucking and thunderstorms or whatever the fuck's going on there. So he said she thought that he did love the kids and that they, had this thing. So another one of his requirements, though, he's got a list of things. She wants the divorce, mind you. Yeah. He didn't say I want a divorce, and she said, no, I'll do anything to save the marriage. And then he said, well, here's a list of things I need. Right. This is her wanting a divorce, and he's saying, I don't want a divorce, and here's things I demand. So he doesn't understand negotiating very much.
Right.
Negotiating, I just said. Like I'm
negotiating.
And negotiating. She doesn't get how it works. He doesn't have anything to negotiate with here.
He doesn't understand who has the power in negotiation. He's like, no, we're not getting a divorce. Here are a bunch of things that I want. And then what you get out of it is you get to stay married to me and do all of these things.
We've decided not to give you the job. Well, I want another $25,000 a year. But we're not giving you the job. You don't get, and a company car. You don't get this, do you? We didn't ask you to be here. Yes. So he said, one other requirement I have is that I need you to get breast implants as well. Yes.
No, I want a divorce.
No, but I want you to have bigger tits and let chicks play with them in front of me. Don't you understand? He says, you will have bigger boobs and then it'll be happy. He said, that'll make me happier.
That'll make you and me both happy.
Yeah. So, yeah, if she would agree to that, she said that she would do. That's one of the things she would agree to. I'll get a boob job, but she was fearful of surgery. She just was scared of it. There had been a lot of stories, because this was the early 90s. This is when the silicone ones were exploding.
Yeah, they leaked.
And so it became a very big thing of, silicone breast implants. So there had been a lot of stories about lawsuits filed by women who were having bad effects of surgery. So he was like, oh, God. But he hounded her about it. Pretty much, she said, from the day they got married. This has been one of his requests. But now it's like, listen, we really need to do it.
So I'll stay with you.
She gets a breast enhancement.
Get out of here.
August of 1992, she gets a boob job.
Augmentation month.
Augmentation 1992.
Yeah.
About a month later, she's healing up. That's when Bob moves back into the house. All right, your tits are good, ready for action.
You don't need help anymore?
Here's the suitcases in there. Well, now he can fuck with them. Yeah, now they're useful to him.
Right, and he doesn't have to take care of her through the healing.
Yeah, he agreed to pay for the surgery and put it on his credit card.
Okay.
All right. Later, though, he refused to pay the bill. Later on, when the marriage still isn't working out, he refused to pay the bill. Later on, explaining to a lawyer, quote, I'm not going to pay for someone else to play with what I paid for.
Wow.
Well, that's how tits work. You don't get to take them with you.
No.
So 2 weeks into this, they separate again. He's home for 2 weeks, and the boobs aren't enough to keep you together. They're a strong motivator, but not strong enough for old Bob here.
Yeah.
This guy, come on. This woman is willing to do a lot for you.
She has gone under the knife for you.
This guy really is. This is ridiculous. He thought as well that, and this is very weird. This doesn't have anything to do with his children, but his view in general is that children should have sex at 12. That's when they should start having sex, at 12. Like his view of the world. If he could change the world, he would say, kids start fucking at 12, which,
That's insane.
Yeah, there's kids that don't want to play with fucking dolls at 12. They have no interest in, you know what I mean?
Worse over, there are children that have periods at 12.
Yes,
and that is frightening. Yeah.
But he thought that they should engage. We all know why 12-year-olds shouldn't be having sex. We're just saying there's plenty of reasons. He said that he thought that his children even specifically should engage in sex at the age of 12, not with each other, obviously, with others. He joked about it himself because he said he was a late bloomer,
Yeah, I figured out I liked shit in my mouth in my 30s. I need you to figure that out much earlier.
No shit, man. So also little weird things. His son Bradley got bit by the pet snake.
They got a pet snake.
Yeah, Bradley laid down on the snake by accident and it bit him. So
it was out?
It was out. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So Bob took the snake back to the pet shop in exchange for a more docile snake. And he said that it can be determined whether a snake is docile by playing with it. And he made the mistake of not handling the first snake enough. That was the problem.
Okay.
So it was just that. That's all.
You got to treat them like tits. You got to lick them a little.
You got to really get them.
Yeah.
You want to
spin them around.
That's the thing. You got to do it clockwise, and it's good. Yeah, we're both
four-finger nipple rub.
We're both putting a valve stem cover back on a tire here. That's what we're both doing.
Right on the snake's nose.
So, also, children were playing with live bullets.
What?
That was okay with him, for kids to play with live bullets.
Okay.
Just fun for them. They're like heavy little, He said that he knew that bullets were, because he's a police officer and all, or whatever the fuck he is, that bullets are, quote, completely harmless unless struck directly with a pointed pin-like object, obviously. So there's no way that'll ever happen. Kids are fine with bullets. It's cool.
You never, as a kid, just tried to smack them with a ball-peen hammer?
No. This guy, just play with him, kids. Here's a handful.
Yeah.
Empty my clip, kids.
Yeah.
He told the court why he would be the best parent to have the children out of the two of them, obviously. In a prepared statement that he read in court, he said, basically, and this is amazing, that he's such a good person, so loving, caring, and actively involved father with the children, coaches their sports, attended Father's Day at the school, lectured their classes on safety, because he's a cop or whatever he is, was always honest with them, knows how to commit to his marriage and children, unlike his wife. He'll always be there for his children, whether it's personal, scholastic, or play. He believes he is the better person than his wife and therefore a better example for the children. I said that. Wow. He said he's a better person.
Yeah.
Overall.
Better example.
Therefore, better example, because he's just a better person. And he would always place the children's best interest as his priority and teach them to live a good Christian life.
Oh, Christian.
Yeah, now he's going to bring, let's talk about pee and poop. I didn't read any of that.
From the Jesus. Two basics, sir.
Yeah, so there's a prolonged divorce and custody, and this is a long time. There's a social worker assigned to the family by the court to evaluate Bob and Farah in connection with all of this. They interviewed Bob in April of 93 and Farah in March of 93. At that time, Bob didn't want primary custody of the children, and Farah was in favor of an extended visitation schedule for Bob. So things seemed to be working out. But then Bob and Farah got in an argument because Bob wanted to restrict Farah's ability to be able to move with the kids to within a 100-mile radius, and Farah did not want a restriction on her ability to move. She wanted to be able to move away if she wanted to.
Go. Yeah.
And Bob wanted joint managing control over decisions about the kids' lives, such as medical and educational decisions, while Farrah wanted sole control. Now, for the first time in this episode, those are reasonable requests. I'd like you to not move more than 100 miles away, and I'd like to have half a say in their medical and educational decisions. That's what parents are. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm fine with the second part, but like, what are the chances I'm going to move 100 miles away? Let's just leave that alone, and then if something comes up, maybe we'll discuss it in the future. If some opportunity arises.
But those are people that get along can do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Excellent
my
point.
parents did that because whatever, they didn't care. But when you're fighting in court, everything has to be black and white, or that person's she's going to move, and he's going to go, I knew she was trying to fuck me and take the kids away from me, and then that's just going to grow into that.
Yeah.
So they need everything in writing, like literally where we exchange the kids.
I'm mad familiar.
I was a process server, so I would have to sit and wait to serve people papers with this. So I'd be reading through the documents.
Yeah.
This is so common, it's disturbing, as you know.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's difficult. So they keep fighting. The divorce proceedings drag on. Bob grows increasingly bitter and pissy toward Farrah.
Yeah, I
understand. Angry because she's not pissy with him, I guess. So
she's not shitty at all either.
Not shitty at all. He complained to his friends that he's broke all the time because he's got to pay child support. And he said, I'd like primary custody of the children so Farrah can pay me. That'd be better. And she can be broke. Take that.
Okay. This is the way to solve it. Jesus Christ.
This has just turned into two adults are arguing with each other, and the kids
are pissing match, James.
The kids are fighting over it. It's another pissing match, we said. So at other times, he said that he would not have to pay child support if I just killed her. Maybe that's the solution.
No.
How about that? He said that Farrah's going to win because her parents have money. So she's going to win eventually because she's going to drain him of all the lawyers, and she'll be able to pay for the lawyers still. He also regularly, to his friends and coworkers, didn't refer to her as Farrah or my ex or anything, just, quote, the bitch. Does that tell you what the bitch is doing now? And they'd go, oh, boy, here goes Bob again. Tell me now what the bitch is doing. Yeah, that's what she said. So this is where this is going.
Yep.
December of 93, there's a deposition. Farrah explains why the divorce had been filed on the grounds of cruelty. She summed up in a deposition here. She said, quote, after I filed for divorce in early 92, my husband and I attempted to reconcile our marriage. As a condition for getting back together, my husband insisted that I have breast surgery.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks bad in court when you say stuff like that.
Sure does.
It looks terrible for him. Even though I considered the dangers to my personal health, I felt it was in the best interest of my children that I try to resolve the problems with my husband and therefore agreed to the surgery. In August of 92, the surgery was performed. His lifestyle is not conducive to properly raising children. My husband has strange morals. That's one way to put it. Is that the name of this episode? Strange morals? Because
she's so sweet.
It's strange. That is the biggest euphemism of all time. Strange. Yeah. She was using air quotes. Strange morals. Strange morals. Quote, he wanted me to say it was all right if he had sex with other women during our marriage. He uses steroids and is more concerned about making his body look good than anything else. That's the other thing. He's at the gym all the time.
Really?
Super obsessed with that. Taking roids, doing all that.
Puts in 40 and goes back to the gym all day.
Yeah.
And then wants to get shit on.
And then wants to be pooped on, yeah. Well, wow. I've been breaking people's balls all day and then showing what a strong man I am. And at the end of the day, I just need someone to pee in my mouth and make me feel like a little boy. I don't know what's going on. So she said this drug often causes mood swings, during which times he becomes aggressive toward the kids.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, steroids, he says that he used them as prescribed by doctors. 6 weeks at a time, then off for 2 months. It's called cycling. It's what all athletes do.
Doctors prescribe that?
Yeah, doctors prescribe. That's why they still exist. Otherwise,
several times?
Yeah, doctors, you can get a quack to prescribe you steroids still. Fuck yeah.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's useful for some medical things, too.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of things it's useful for, but not just some 35-year-old dude who wants to get jacked, usually.
Some guy that wants to jerk off in the mirror.
Well, now they just give you HGH for that.
Right.
Go if you're if you're over 38.
I can't come unless I'm hot.
Unless I'm super hot. I need to be jacked to come. But if you're like over 38 and you're a guy and you go to the doctor and you're like, I don't know, just down, and they check you and you don't have cancer or something, they're like, do you want HGH? I mean, they'll fucking fill you up with it.
Really?
I know so many people on HGH. Whenever you see these like 48-year-old guys that are like, wow, look at his heart. That guy's in real good shape. He's on HGH. I bet you, I would bet $100 million every one of them because I know guys that did that. That's exactly what they look like. It's just they have a weird glow to them. It's a weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, that weird Jose Canseco gleam.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing. Yeah, it's odd. So she said that he said, though, prescribed by doctors in a cycle. He said that he started taking them in 91, then quit them for 2 months, that's a cycle, off for 2 months, before surgery for a herniated disc. So he had to cycle off then. He suffered the spinal injury when he stepped in a hole in the lawn at the Missouri City Fire Station where he was on duty.
Okay.
She said, quote, Bob does not have any parenting skills. He constantly brings the children home dirty and not fed.
Oh, you can't do that.
He wants them all the time. Bob has left the children alone without supervision and has gone to the gym to work out. Hey, kids, I'm going to go get some pumping in. Don't kill each other, all right?
Be right back. I gotta do some benches, put up some reps.
Don't have sex with each other, even though I think you should be having sex by the time you're 12. Okay.
I gotta do some curls.
I gotta. It's leg day. You know what I mean? You can't skip it.
Pop the kettlebells. We'll be right back.
She said, throughout our marriage, Bob has engaged in sexual abuse of me. I have been afraid to make this known and ashamed to admit that I let him get away with it until now. However, because of my daughter, I believe it is necessary. Unlike his desire for an open marriage, here, he didn't disclose his other sexual preferences to the social worker or Farrah's attorney when they were depositions. He didn't say, and I like her to poop on me and that sort of thing. He just said, I want an open marriage and with a big-titted wife. That's all he said. So her attorney later said that Bob seemed embarrassed and nervous when Farrah alleged during her deposition that he wanted her to engage in this behavior. He got all freaked out by it. One of Bob's friends testified later that Bob told him that he was angry about this allegations, which he said were false. Meanwhile, he's told other people at work and every chick he's ever met, and he did not want Farrah to repeat them in open court because they're gross. That's just gross. Wow. The presiding judge stated that in 23 years of family-oriented legal work, he, quote, had never heard of this degree of depravity and bizarre sexual behavior. Imagine hearing that from both a doctor and a judge.
Yeah, most people are able to keep this under wraps, and you two are just screaming it in open court.
This is a mess. Jesus. So other former friends, as well as his son, describe Bob as a good talker who could present a nice facade and persuade people to do things for him. You know, a psychopath is what those are called, I believe. Yeah. In his case, I think it's a psychopath. So, and a liar. They said both the psychological experts that are going to talk to him later all say that he suffers from personality disorders. They said that he's narcissistic, paranoid, controlling, and lacked empathy.
Wow.
Psychopath. That lines
up. That's a dangerous man.
That's a very narcissistic, paranoid, controlling, and has no empathy. That's
not
worst.
Good at all.
Yeah. If you add empathy in, the rest of those can be dealt with. If you take empathy is the key, though.
Doesn't feel bad for it, then he's going to do bad shit.
Empathy is the key to all of it. Yeah. So that's what it is. He had difficulty accepting responsibility for his actions and blamed others for his problems.
Yeah.
Yep. He liked to think that he was dominating people and that he was the sort of person who enjoyed humiliating those who depended on him. That's what the doctor says. Doctor also says he's manipulative. I think that goes without saying with the rest of what you just said. He was able to maintain a calm facade and appear to function normally, but he did not think normally. He was not able to confront or make sense of difficult situations or learn from his mistakes. He was, quote, rigid and needed to feel that he was in control of his situation and relationships with other people. He's a fucking psychopath. That's what you just described.
Dangerous human being.
He was likely to react with vindictive anger when frustrated or embarrassed. He was masochistic sexually and had other atypical ideas about sexuality. Mm-hmm. They said that he, quote, saw girls, meaning women,
multiple
adult women we're talking about. He saw women as little, young, and passive. That's how he saw women. All women to him were just like these little, meek little creatures he could play with. Saw their sex needs controlled and restricted. He thought he might have a need to dominate a little girl type of thing. That's what it says. What the doctor said that she got out of him. So he showed a considerable degree of paranoia and psychopathy, meaning psychopathic deviant behaviors. This is from the doctor's report, not mine. They would correlate with suspiciousness, maybe fixed beliefs, holding grudges, being rebellious, not conforming to convention, maybe charming and pleasant, able to fool people, maybe even faking remorse, but essentially someone who would lie and have no conscience about it.
Really?
These sound very familiar to every serial killer we've ever talked to. This doctor also talked about the inferences that may be drawn from a, quote, scale 4, okay? Mm-hmm. He said the 4 is what they call a psychopathic deviancy scale. If it gets high enough, you're into lying, you get into antisocial behavior. And as a matter of fact, a high score, there would be diagnosed as an antisocial personality disorder at that point in time, which would have to do with lying, cheating, maybe criminal behavior, a variety of things, people who just don't get along in society.
Yeah.
And antisocial doesn't mean you just don't like going places and doing things, because that's not. It's an actual. You have antipathy for the world.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It's a problem. They said that the doctor says that Bob's elevated score on the 4 scale would indicate antisocial behavior of the sort demonstrated by persons with antisocial personality disorder. Mm-hmm. They said that he was diagnosed as narcissistic, having a self-love so extreme that if his desires were not fulfilled, it led to intense anger.
Intense anger.
Wow. Meanwhile, people like us, if we don't get what we want, we go, just what I expected. Great. And we walk away. Obviously. Yeah. For fuck's sake. Well, I had a good thing happen to me last week, so clearly this was going to be a disaster. Literally,
I paid the money, didn't get what I wanted, and I'm still not surprised.
When we were both stuck at the Charlotte airport, we go, we had 2 good shows. We deserve this. We literally said both the shows were fun this weekend, good crowds, nice staffs, nice theaters, clean, all that kind of shit. We deserved all of this. Like, if our planes land safely, it's a fucking miracle. For us, because we did that.
Obviously, I'm not going anywhere. Why would I expect normal service when I paid for normal service?
Yeah, that's clearly not what I'm getting. Fuck, man. Dr. Abrams here also notes that Bob had been tested by the Houston Police Department, and subsequent to that testing had twice been denied a place in the police academy class. Yeah. So even the cops didn't want him. They're saying even their psychological testing.
Their test was right on the target, though. They're like, we can't have that man have a badge and a gun. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Narcissistic guy with no empathy? Yeah. That's the worst guy to have with a badge and a gun.
He asked the interviewer person to shit on him.
Yeah. He said, you got a closet around here? They were like,
when we arrest people, can we make them shit on us?
Is that like a thing? Like if they're not talking, like not right on the street, but if we bring them in, we know they did something, they're not talking, can you be like, you shit on me right now?
But if they're under arrest, like they don't get to go home, we can make them shit where we want them to shit, right?
We can do that, right? Not just in their cells? Okay. Right. So late summer 1994, all this is going on. Mm-hmm. Farah calls 911 in a panic. Okay. A detective rushes to her house and said, quote, she was upset. She was crying. She was in bed and a male came into her house. He had a mask on and stunned her with a stun gun. She was terrified.
My God.
Some masked man ran in her house and stun gunned her while she was in bed and then took off. They said the attacker broke in through a window and attacked her in front of her young children. The oldest was 7 at the time. He said, I woke up to my mother screaming. I had no idea really what was going on. All I know was my mother was in danger and something wasn't right. The second son, Daniel, said, we were just screaming, crying outside the door. Let our mommy go. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Mm-hmm. Farah suspects that this intruder is probably a friend of Bob's.
Yeah.
She sees Bob behind this.
Great guess, Farah.
Not a bad guess while you're in the middle of this whole thing. But they took off and left, and the guy was never caught.
Okay.
He never figured it out. The detective said she thought her husband had something to do with it, and he said in his gut he believed her, but there was no concrete proof or anything, so all he could do was go to Bob and say, do you have anything to do with this? And when Bob says no, go, you better not fucking have anything to do with anything. Yeah. You leave her alone, finger wag in his face and walk away. And no, I won't shit on you, and then leave. He said, quote, I said, Bob, I know what you're up to, and it's not going to work. You need to leave her alone. I said, Bob, I told you to leave her alone, and he told me I didn't do anything. Okay. So there you go. So after all this and the deposition and everything like that, Bob told a friend that he was angry about the accusation she made about him. The cops coming to his house saying he sent someone over. He said they were completely false, and he didn't want other people to hear these things. Think he's a crazy person.
If you have nothing to do with that, if you have children in that house, you shouldn't be more concerned that they were scared than you're being accused of something. Who gives a shit empathy. If they accuse you? Right. You got to be worried about those goddamn children.
Nope. He doesn't even think about that, though.
Not even a little.
A psychopath wouldn't even think about that. That has no concern because that has nothing to do with them.
Right.
So it's hard. And it's weird. So, Bob, at that point, he was really pissed off, extra mad, and he said, I am going to find someone to kill that bitch.
The bitch.
The bitch. I'm going to find someone. He solicited a shitload of his friends and acquaintances.
Oh, is that right?
He talked to pretty much everybody he knows.
Yeah.
And said, will you kill her? And then when they said no, he'd go, do you know anyone that you could recommend to kill her? Literally, that's what he would say.
Yeah.
Anybody else open right now where I could get a pizza at 11 o'clock? Like,
well, do you know anybody? I mean, if you've told people that you like shit in your mouth, asking for soliciting murder is a step below that, isn't it?
It is. It's in weirdness.
Yeah.
Well, we've heard about, 425 murders this is, with more murders happening in there. We're into the thousands, and our body count's over 1,000, 2,000 probably, 1,000, something like that. But we've never heard of someone wanting to have shit in their mouth in all of this time. And we've dealt with crazy people, deviant people, weird people. We've dealt with it all.
A bunch of people with murder for hire. Bunches.
Yeah, tons. So most of his friends thought he was joking.
Yeah.
Just like when he said he likes poop in his mouth here. But
a real jokester.
He continued to talk about it. So they were like, they would talk to each other and go, I think he's serious. Is Bob serious. For real? Like he wants to, wow, okay. He spent months soliciting people, just anyone he ran into. I haven't seen you in so long. It's been months. Yeah, no, let's grab a beer together. Oh, yeah, the game's on tonight. This is great. Yeah, the Rockets are playing great this year. You want to kill my wife by any chance? No? All right. You know anybody? Okay. So anyway, what do you think about the Texans this fucking
Mario Ellie, right?
Look at him, man. Oh, man, Jesus Christ. I'll tell you, that Olajuwon, thank God we got him, huh? This is the time when they're winning the championship, too.
Yeah, they're doing
beating
great.
The Knicks here. So he keeps asking. Nobody has any answers for him. After a while, his friends started to think he was serious. So after all these months, they're like, what the fuck is going on? Friends warned him that if you're serious, you probably shouldn't be saying this in the open like this. Yeah, ixnay on the fucking ilke of
keep it down, doggy.
Of the itch bay. You know what I mean? Like, fucking chill it out. And you should do that. The friends warned him you could get in trouble for even talking about killing your wife like this.
Right.
That's called conspiracy, Like if you've done anything to further it, you're in deep shit.
Yeah.
He told them that, look, this is part of my strategy.
In court?
Well, later, to confuse the criminal investigation that's going to come after he's killed, after his wife is killed.
Oh.
That's not going to confuse it. That's going to focus it.
Right.
That's not. I'm gonna put a trail of breadcrumb evidence out so the cops will come right to me. That'll confuse everybody. No,
are you sure he's okay?
That's what I mean. He's not right in the head.
There's something wrong with him. I mean,
it's
apart
there's
from the
poison
shitting
and poop,
and
you can't eat shit. I think that's what it is. You shouldn't be eating shit. There's things in it that clearly give you brain damage because I don't know what's happening here.
Even the pee, Gandhi died because of that, right?
It's from Kingpin. Can you get sick drinking pee?
Even
I think you can, Herb. What if it's your own? So watch Kingpin if you haven't seen it in a while too. It's better than you've remembered. So Yeah, they said, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, yeah, no, this is going to confuse the whole thing. No, this is so good. I'm stirring the pot here. One friend, he offered him $1,000 up front.
Yeah.
I'll give you $1,000 and my Jeep.
No.
If you kill my wife.
6 CJ7. Come on over.
Come on. It's beautiful. It's a Wrangler he's got. He's like, I'll give you my Wrangler and $1,000. He said that I'll be able to make additional payments after I get control of the proceeds of her life insurance and an overseas trust account containing the children's money.
Yeah.
He would later up his offers to $5,000 a pop plus the Jeep.
Yeah.
So in fall of 1994, it's been like 4 months he's been searching for someone to kill his wife. At this point, 3-4 months.
The fee is very low.
It's not a good fee. But you could sell a Jeep Wrangler for something. I mean, in the end, it's something, but it's still not a murder fee.
No.
You got to go to someone with cash. You can't just be like, I'll piece together a package for you to kill my wife. That's not going to work.
And also, paper trail with titles and shit
that's
is
the
bad.
Other thing.
That's bad.
I gave this stranger my Jeep. So finally, he's at the gym, and there's a guy named James Podharski.
Yeah.
Yes, James Podharski goes to the gym, and he and Bob would sometime after working out, getting their pump on, they'd go to the strip club together, go to the titty bar and check that out together. Yeah, just make it a masculine kind of night. He said that Bob brought a gun with him when they went out together all the time at this point. Yeah. He questioned whether Bob was a police officer or not. He goes, are you a cop or not? He said, it's probably not a good idea for us to have a gun in the car when we're going out drinking, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that like against the rules for you guys?
Right.
His response was, well, the reason I'm bringing the gun is in case we run into Farah. I'll shoot her myself and make it look like a carjacking.
Oh.
If I run across her while I'm coming from the gym to the titty bar with my buddy in the car, I'll just get out, kill her, doctor the crime scene real quick and drive away and everything will be fine.
But I'm in the car with you.
But you're not going to say anything.
Doesn't that make me like an accessory?
No, close your eyes. I'll turn the radio up real loud. Don't worry about it. It's all right. In utero just came out. I just bought it. You're going to love it. But the heart-shaped box is fantastic. Here, listen. Shit. Holy shit. So he did own the Jeep that he was offering. At least he actually had that. So Podharski, working out at the gym, he said, quote, he asked me if I knew of anybody. It seemed to be pretty much what he wanted to talk about to me and everybody else. That's all he's talking about in the job. It's it's this guy that wants to kill his wife again. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. According to later on, the state will say of the people they found, quote, 15 or 17 different guys all said pretty much the same thing.
He just brings it up to everybody.
At least 15 people. That's who they could find. Who other people they didn't even know he knew, who knows? So, wow. None of his buddies thought of calling the police, though. None of them were like, this is serious. Podharski said, quote, he's going to come to his senses. He's just blowing off steam. That's what we all thought.
He's just mad.
Yeah, he said, quote, there wasn't a lot of money up front, maybe $1,000, $2,000. He's obviously not serious about this. Murder costs more than that.
The man's offering a Jeep. Nobody wants to.
I mean, come on.
Nobody's going to take that.
Podharski was asked, quote, it didn't raise any red flags? Yeah. And this guy says, quote, if it was anybody else, probably so. That's how much of a blowhard Bob is. Even when for months he consistently has to kill his wife, they're like, he's full of shit. He said, quote, but just knowing Bob, he was so likable and he was very kind, you didn't take him seriously.
Wow.
Blowing off steam. Now, Minnie Lawrence, phone sex lady here,
everyone.
She said there was a time in the relationship when Bob began to talk about domestic problems. In 93, early 94, she said he referred to his wife as the bitch.
The bitch.
The bitch.
Oh, yes.
Let me tell you what the bitch did.
Yeah.
In October 94, Minnie Lawrence had a phone conversation with Bob that she said she never forgot. She said it was about, quote, a week after the big flood in the Atascocita area. Of course, which can be said that could happen in any year. She was concerned about him and called. He said that he had not had any flood damage, so she asked him how the divorce was going, And she says, quote, "He asked me if I knew anyone who would kill his wife." I said, "No, are you joking?" And he replied, "Yeah, maybe, maybe not."
I don't know.
What the fuck, man?
Depends on if you know anyone.
So she said, "I may have known someone a long time ago, but I don't know them now." She thought she was playing along, joking. Yeah. And then this is great, quote, "He asked me if I knew any black people, and we made a joke out of it."
We? What?
In other words, obviously not. Wow. Because I'm from Vidor, Texas originally, and we laughed about it, which is a sundown town. That's why. Okay. That's one of the more famous sundown towns in Texas. So, she's not going to know any black people is what the joke was there. So when he asked her if she knew any black people who would do it, she answered, "You've got to be kidding me."
Yeah.
Are you serious? And he said, "Maybe, maybe not."
Unbelievable.
So he finds someone who is willing to do this. He finds a guy who not only takes him seriously, he said, "I'll take the couple grand up front and your Jeep. Let's do it." Yeah. He finds a guy named Joseph Prystash, and that's Pry Stash.
Really?
Okay. He's born in 1956. He's been in and out of prison, actually. He was sentenced in 1988. He was sentenced to 10 years for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, which is a plea down from Grand Theft Auto, I believe. Released here, he was under parole. So he was sentenced to 10 years and then got paroled in 91 and discharged. So, okay. Prystash was to get a Jeep for his part. That's what he's getting. But he said, "I need a third person for this." So Prystash puts himself in the middle and gets somebody who is not a part of that. Basically, Bob doesn't really know. Yeah. He's seen him, but he doesn't know him. They're not part of his circle here. And that's a guy named Howard Paul Guidry, who's only 18 years old at this point.
Yeah, we got to subcontract this.
That's what you do. Yeah, I do plumbing, but not drywall. I get a subcontractor.
Relegate the work, babe.
That's what you got to do. So an 18-year-old kid.
Perfect.
He gets an 18-year-old. They're all in their 30s. Oh, and he's a black kid, too. So you found an 18-year-old, exactly what he was looking for.
God, it's so racist.
Well, they're looking. People think, if people see a black guy, they won't think it's us, is what they think. Mm-hmm. Like, they won't think, they know we don't like black, we don't hang out with black people, so they won't think it's me. That's exactly how he thinks. That's what they were talking about, laughing about. Yeah. So Prystash, like we said, he's not a part of Bob's regular circle of friends either, this Prystash. He knew him from the gym on several occasions in the weeks coming up here in the end of this year. They were observed speaking privately together at the gym.
Okay.
This is the President and First Lady gym where they were where they were members.
That's where they work out at?
Yes, the President and First Lady gym.
That's a lot of words.
That's a lot. That's weird.
It's a ton of fucking syllables.
Prystash's girlfriend, Mary Gipp, who has way less syllables in her name, overheard Prystash talking with Bob on the phone. In addition, she often saw Prystash talking to her next-door neighbor, Guidry, Howard Paul Guidry, the 18-year-old that Prystash.
That's how he knows him?
Next-door neighbor. There's a black kid that lives by me.
Unbelievable.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity. And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep shoppers coming back with personalized experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge. In fact, it's proven, based on a report from EY, businesses on Shopify POS see real results, like 22% better total cost of ownership and benefits, equivalent to an 8.9% uplift in sales on average relative to the market set surveyed. Want more? Check out at shopify.com/Wondery. All lowercase, and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity. Shopify.com/Wondery.
February is the month of love, and we all deserve a little something special. Dime Beauty is having their annual Valentine's sale right now, where you can get 25% off everything with code VALENTINE. It's the perfect excuse to refresh your beauty routine or pick out a thoughtful gift. At Dime, clean is more than a standard. It's their promise. Dedicated to skin-conscious ingredients, they focus on creating beauty, skincare, body care, and fragrances that are safe, gentle, and free from harsh chemicals. With Dime, you can trust what you're putting on your skin every single day. If you're looking for the perfect nighttime anti-aging cream, their TBT cream is a must-try. It's packed with clean, age-defying ingredients that nourish and hydrate your skin while you sleep. But don't just take my word for it. Over 3,000 five-star reviews speak for themselves. Whether it's skincare, fragrance, or a little bit of both, Dime has something for everyone. Visit DimeBeautyCO.com and use code VALENTINE for 25% off right now during their Valentine's Day sale. Grab your favorites before it's over. DimeBeautyCO.com.
In addition, so she saw all of that, and sometimes they would be talking on the balcony outside her apartment. So he'd invite this kid over and talk. So the divorce is set to be final in late November 1994. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then November 9th, 1994, Bob ate dinner with Farah and the children that night.
Yeah.
They're 4 through 7 at a cafeteria somewhere, a Luby's or some shit.
Right.
He then took the kids to a Catholic church in Humble and leaves the two youngest children in the church nursery and brought the 7-year-old to catechism class.
Okay.
So your CCD shit there for your communion confirmation stuff. So he stayed to attend a meeting for parents whose children were preparing for their first communion.
Yeah.
And he said while we were at church, they would have us doing a bunch of fun little activities, which also involved praying.
Yeah.
So during the meeting, he repeatedly excused himself to go to the church office to make and receive phone calls.
And receive.
Yeah, I gave out your numbers. Is that cool, Father? All right. Real weird. Bob took the kids there to the classes and do all that. They regularly attended the classes, but they said it was very unusual for Bob to stay for the parents' meeting. Never did that before.
Yeah.
So according to Guidry, the murder was supposed to happen on this Wednesday night. Okay? That's what Guidry will say. Prystash is the driver. He's the middleman who got Guidry into this. Prystash was going to the health club. Prystash, he's the middle guy here.
Yeah.
So Bob is, during all this, he's repeatedly making and receiving phone calls in the church office. So Farah, her night, she went to the hair salon, then went home. Mm-hmm. She pulls into her driveway around 8 p.m. in Atascocita, and at that time, her neighbors were across the street, were sitting in their living room and had a view of Farah's house and garage.
Okay.
It's one of those, big window. They can see.
Big picture window, yeah, the front window.
So one of the neighbors that was watching said that she heard a gunshot.
Okay.
And looked out the window into Farah's garage. She heard a scream and saw Farah fall to the ground beside her car. Then another gunshot.
Oh.
Yeah. She said, we heard something outside like a pop, and I got up to look out the window. And as I was doing that, we heard a scream, and I saw Farah fall. And then we heard another shot. This is Laura, the Holster, the neighbor. And I saw her lying down by the car, is what the husband said here. About 3 minutes later, she saw a man who, quote, wasn't very tall and he had a very round head.
Okay.
It's an odd detail to remember, very round head, standing on the side of Farah's house. So it turns out Farah is shot and killed in her garage. And, this is before Bob's supposed to come home with the children for her.
Uh-huh. Those people called the police, right?
Yes. Yeah. They saw her get murdered in her driveway. They said that the man was either black or was white and wearing a black makeup or something.
Oh.
So it's either, Al Jolson or a black guy. We're not sure. Somebody, we don't know. Another neighbor testified to seeing either a white person with a stocking on or a black person. I haven't seen a lot of black people in this neighborhood, I feel like.
Yeah.
That it's either a guy with a mask on or a black guy. I haven't seen a lot of black guys. It might be what the hell are you talking about?
Either a normal person with a mask of a black man's face.
Yeah, that's what they would say. Or a black man. I ain't seen one in a while, though, so I don't know.
I don't
by the way, Houston, few black people in it. And Atascocita had black people in it.
Right,
more than the average. So interesting. A few minutes later, a silver or gray car with a burned out headlight drove up, picked the man up, and quickly drove off. You can't even have your car in headlight condition for a murder plot, man. Come on.
You don't have all lights illuminated, you moron.
Pulp Fiction's out right now.
Yeah.
When you go there, the wolf goes, everything in working condition, all the lights in, this and that.
I don't want to get out on the road and find out it doesn't have a turn signal.
That's what I'm saying. These people didn't pay any attention to that here. So it was at that time, this is what the neighbor says, it was at that time we realized she wasn't getting up and we dialed 911. Well, if she got up, she's fine. She's got shot twice, but she's probably okay.
They watched a man get into a car and drive off and then call the cops?
And then we're like, she's not moving over there. We should call the cops. Holy shit. She said, quote, I just started giving them a play-by-play of what we were seeing. She said, I just saw a shooting, and I was in my living room nursing my baby, and I looked out my window, and our neighbor was outside our garage, and she was shot 2 times. So, they said... she was down. She said she saw a black man dressed in black standing behind a tree. As this woman speaks to the sheriff's deputy dispatcher, she narrates seeing a small silver Toyota or Honda hatchback with a broken headlight pull up. She said, oh, God, the guy's getting in the car right now and they're driving off. She continued to narrate as her husband went over to check on Farrah after that. Yeah. At that moment, after a moment, the neighbor says into the phone, she's breathing.
That's great.
That's great. So Darren can be heard saying, the woman's been shot in the head, but she's still alive.
Holy shit.
So about 7 minutes into the call, they say a police officer's coming, and then they hang up. Okay?
Wow.
How about send everybody? There's a woman shot in the head. So that's a lot. Farrah's parents now, Lex and Betty Backer, they said, I came home, this is what Lex said, I came home about 7 o'clock from work and my wife had just prepared a nice hot meal for me. The telephone rang. It was maybe 2 minutes after 8 o'clock. On the other end of the line was the neighbor. She had their phone number. And Lex said, I don't know how fast I drove. I have no idea. And when we went there, the lights were all over the place and the cop was trying to stop us. They're trying to get to the crime scene there. He said, I got to her and she was alive. She was face up but having convulsions. Her parents had to watch this. Yeah. He said, Betty said, I just put my hand up on her and just shut her eyes. And I felt her. She was cold. It hurt so much. These parents had to watch her go. Die. Yeah. That's horrible. Bob is immediately a suspect, obviously.
Of course.
Well, her divorce is up in 2 weeks. They've been fighting. Oh, do you know anything about that? Oh, yeah, he asked me to kill her 20 times. He offered me a Jeep. I mean, it doesn't take long to put this all together. Now, Bob arrived at Farrah's house with the children about a half hour after the cops got there, just pulling the what's going on? What's wrong? He said, they said about him, quote, after leaving the catechism class, we went back to the house. The first thing I remember was all the yellow tape everywhere. I just remember arriving there. This is the son, by the way. And my dad acting very surprised to see what was going on. Well, he's a good actor anyway. One officer said later on that Bob showed no signs of sadness, concern, or surprise. He said that Bob was in a hurry and wanted to expedite the investigation of the crime scene. A detective who observed Bob at the crime scene described him as very confident, very composed, well in command of the situation. Interesting. So then they find out about the divorce and they find out about his pooping predilections and predilection for poop and all that kind of thing. So they bring him in to the police station. They feel like he's being deceptive, the detective said right away. He consents to a search of his car. They find a 9mm pistol and $1,050 in cash in a plain white envelope.
Oh.
Interesting. The cash was found in the glove compartment of Bob's car that night. Bob told detectives it was money for a new carpet at his house. 70-minute video taken here while he's being interrogated. He answers the questions put to him. He said that his wife had already been taken to the hospital by the time he arrived. He said he'd been informed that she had a pulse and was breathing, but it wasn't good. So Bob then tells the detectives that he's a Missouri City public safety officer.
Right.
Yeah, and at that time, he was a hybrid firefighter as well, and Bob told the detective he wondered whether his work made Farah a target. I wonder if someone was mad at me for something I did at work and took it out. The detective balked at the suggestion and said, quote, "I would never have wanted anything like this to happen," is what Bob said. Now, Bob had said had been previously suspected in a robbery at the house, if we remember the stun gun incident. And that was the detective said Bob said that's the last time she had a stunt like this. There was that. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's the same people. He said that Farah's boyfriend visited her frequently and that Bob had heard a rumor that Farah's boyfriend's into drugs. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe they were looking for him. He said that before the murder, the Sunday before, he received a phone call from his son Bradley, who was upset and crying because he didn't want, quote, the bad man to kill him. Okay. So he said that Farah's boyfriend was there and he dropped the children off that night and thought Bradley may have overheard a conversation between Farah and the boyfriend that the boyfriend was setting Bob up for a hit. Okay. He also said Farah had some shady sides of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He said when he pulled up to Farah's house the previous evening and saw the police cars and tape, he said, quote, "I honestly thought it was a drug raid." He's trying to make it seem like they're so deep into it, cartels are got to be over here to kill them.
Yeah, honestly, I just thought you guys were raiding it.
Wow. He said that what happened in the garage was probably a result of a scheme that she was hatching against him that just backfired on her. Oh. She was probably trying to get people to kill me, and they just decided to kill her first. So
she's probably trying to have me murdered with my Jeep as fee.
You know, as a fee. But this is what a narcissistic person would even when they're lying, he still made it about him.
Right.
They did this because of me, because I'm the center of the universe.
Me because I'm important.
Wow. And this one, she was trying to kill me, but it backfired against her, because I'm great. He also, he said there'd been a series of odd, unexplained occurrences in his house also.
Oh.
Such as doors being opened, items missing, and evidence in his home that his home phone was used by someone else to call Farah's home. So now he's saying someone's been breaking in. They might be planting evidence because they're making phone calls, and he's setting the scene. Yeah, that she had a masked guy come in. I've been having people break in my house too. Like, I had the same problems. When they told Bob to talk to him about his marriage, he said that he loved Farah and never wanted her to divorce him. They said, well, why'd she want the divorce? And he said there was no romance or affection between the two of them.
Well, there was. It was just not
only in a closet.
Wanted it.
Yeah. Only the kind I consider only happens in the closet. He tried to convince her that while they didn't have the best marriage, it was far from the worst marriage, and that he was content, but that, quote, she wanted to find someone that put her on a pedestal.
Okay.
Well, yeah, as long as she didn't have to shit onto them from the top of that pedestal.
Well, if he put her on one, it'd be easier for her to get him.
Yeah. During that, Bob said that he did own a Jeep CJ7. So he's got a 7.
Hell yeah.
Nice. 7's
That's a
nice.
pretty good one, yeah.
He also told the interrogator that he did not have any life insurance on Farah, which is not true. He does.
Really?
They said, who hates your wife enough to kill her? And he said, quote, nobody I can think of. I mean, I can't think of anybody that hates her.
I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, that's crazy. So another detective questioned Bob that night, and then Bob spoke with reporters following the release, and that's wild. They let him out, and he goes, it's crazy. But they said when he left, as soon as they left, the detective said, quote, he's lying. He's been lying all night. There's no robbery, no sexual assault, there's no carjacking. Basically, you got a mother of 3 coming home from work at 8 o'clock in a low-crime, affluent subdivision in a northeast Harris County, basically gets ambushed and shot execution style.
Right.
Who are these? Who's he trying to bullshit here? And they asked him if you have an alibi, and he said, well, at the time it happened, I was at church with my children. Which you can't get a more fucking...
wholesome.
I was at church with my...
What a dad.
We were worshiping the Lord together.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stations of the Cross and Hail Marys.
Oh, God. They said, did you arrange to have your wife killed? And he said, I love it. It works every time. Quote, no, I did not. No contraction. No, I did not.
Yeah.
Yep. Fratta was not doing by himself favors, by the way, because they said, quote, this is what the detective said. I asked him a question that still sticks out in my mind today. The way he answered it. I said, Bob, what should happen to someone that kills somebody? Which they ask that a lot.
Yeah.
He said, quote, they should go to jail forever. Okay?
Yeah.
Then I said, what should happen to somebody who has their wife killed?
Yeah.
And he told me, it depends on the circumstances. That's amazing.
Lock him, Bob. Come on.
The cop said, quote, I walked out and said, he killed her. He just walked out and
Absolutely.
he's totally guilty.
Yeah.
That is fucking amazing. They said Bob appeared calm. He said, had no idea why anybody would want to kill his wife. After 14 hours of interrogation, he is released.
Released. They don't have any charges on him yet.
Not yet. They don't know. Yeah, they'll have it plenty.
They know.
So the press is waiting outside because he's been in there. There's a big story there. He walks out, all smiles, like these are long-lost friends that came to say hi. Like it's a surprise birthday party. He's like, oh, guys, you didn't have to. Oh, there's a cake, too. Geez, you got my mom here for all the way from Oregon? Wow. This is incredible.
This?
Oh, man. That's how he came out. Like he was just the fucking life of the party. The detective said, quote, he's just happy-go-lucky. He's cheesing to the camera. He gave all these indications that he's going to get away with this murder.
Unbelievable. He didn't know.
No,
he has no idea that they're actually interested in him still.
Yeah, no clue. He thought, I got away with it, done.
Yeah.
Which, as a person who is whatever the fuck he is, a safety officer or whatever, you'd think you would know.
You should know, yeah.
But he's like, got away with it. Now, the manager of the gym where Bob and Price Stash worked out said that on the night of the murder, Price Stash arrived at 9:35 p.m. The gym closes at 10.
Showed up 25 minutes before.
Kind of a workout you're going to get here. Farrah's friend, Kitty Waters Sneed, that's her name, Kitty Waters Sneed, she worked alongside Farrah at American Airlines for years and was Farrah's closest friend. Yeah. She said she was afraid for Farrah's safety. She said, quote, I knew it was Bob right away.
Yeah.
Because Farrah had been telling her, I'm sure, all the weird shit and everything else. So the day after this, Podhersky says that this day, the afternoon following the murder, Bob came into the tanning salon where he works. Oh, my God. He's a guy who works in a tanning booth, then works out and goes to the titty bar with this idiot. He's just a douchebag. This is the douche crew here. He said he walked into the tanning salon where Podhersky was working, and he told him, quote, Bob tells him, if everybody keeps their mouth shut, everything will be all right.
No.
After tanning, Bob tells Podhersky that if the heat comes down, Podhersky should claim that he went over to Farrah's to scare her and fired at her, but the bullet ended up grazing her head, and that at that point he became scared and fired the second shot. Podhersky, who didn't kill anybody.
If the cops come around, just admit to killing her.
Yeah.
What?
By accident. And he's like, no.
No way.
I don't think so. He's like, I didn't kill you. You asked me, but I didn't do it. A few days later, Bob tries to collect the insurance policy on Farrah's death here, but the investigation remained open, so he couldn't.
Can't do it yet.
No. So, Jesus Christ. Oh, by the way, Price Stash replaced a burned-out headlight on his car the day after the murder. And within a couple weeks, he stopped driving the car completely.
Yeah.
Maybe just because he had a new Jeep. You never know.
Probably.
So on the evening Farrah was murdered, Mary Gipp, that's Price Stash's girlfriend, Gipp, she came home from work to find Guidry dressed in black, sitting on the steps in front of her apartment.
Okay.
While he was unloading and concealing the murder weapon, she said. That's what he was doing.
Oh, boy.
After this conversation, Price Stash left the apartment. Gipp retrieved two spent shell casings that Price Stash had thrown into the kitchen trash and wrote down the serial number of the fucking gun that he had hidden under some clothes in the bedroom.
Genius.
She's collecting evidence over here.
She got him.
She doesn't go to the police, though.
No.
I don't know if she's going to go do the lab work herself and, I'm going to run a ballistics on this thing. She later said that she never went to the police and disposed of the shell casings in a trash can at a shopping mall.
Why?
So she had an instinct and then said no.
Yeah.
Prystash gave Guidry the murder weapon to dispose of. Guidry threw it into the water somewhere, body of water. It's a .38, by the way, that was used. So Prystash arrived a few minutes later, but he soon left again. When he returned to Gip's apartment that night, Guidry's with him again. So he's hanging out with him. In the days following this, Bob showed no signs of sadness or regret to police investigators or his friends or anybody.
Right.
Whether it's advantageous or not. One friend,
happy.
He's thrilled. He can't even hide it. He's beaming. One friend said that Bob attempted unconvincingly to act kind of down for a day or two, but didn't seem to be real. And then he said, then his demeanor just went right back to normal. Which, if you see the pictures of him, I'll post on our social media the pictures of him. One of the pictures of him coming out with the crowd. If you see that, you go, "Oh wow, this guy is."
Why is he
this
so
isn't
happy?
Good. Holy shit! Another friend said that the day after the murder, Bob stopped by his place of employment to tell him that everything would be okay if he just kept their mouths shut. So he's just telling everyone that. A few days later, that's when he stopped by Podhersky's and said, "You should make a false confession if they talk to you."
What does that do? That doesn't do anything, man.
It gets Bob out of trouble is what it does. Again, psychopath, narcissist. Further evidence includes telephone and pager records showing the times and locations of communications between Bob, Farah, Prystash, and Guidry on the evening of the offense, and the autopsy and ballistic reports. Bob says he did not do it. Still saying, didn't do it. He says Farah's deposition allegations were not relevant to his motive. He's like, that doesn't mean I had a motive just because I didn't want her to say I like shit in my mouth. Right. That's not enough to kill somebody. He said he wouldn't have killed her in order to just keep her from disclosing that. He said that's ridiculous. Now, the detectives still talk to him almost daily. Mm-hmm. And he says, quote, this is what the detective said. He says, "Hey, Larry, Bob." He goes, "Am I going to jail today?" And I said, "Not today, Bob. Soon, but not today." They had that conversation every day. Bob would call him up and go, "Am I going to jail?" "Nope." "All right, see you tomorrow then." So, wow, that is a...
I'll get you, don't worry.
It's so fucking weird. Everything in this case. This is one of the weirdest cases ever. So, Mary says about everything, she says, "I don't know why I did what I did," meaning... not tell her. But she said nothing for almost 4 months. She kept it to herself.
4 months.
And she was asked questions, too. And she said, "I didn't give them any information they wanted."
Unbelievable.
Detectives said they knew that Farah's husband, Bob, had called Gip's cell phone and pager hours before and right after the murder. So that's how they're kind of wrangling her into it. But that's all they knew. And until they learned more, they had to let Bob be free here. So prosecutors bring in Gip and bring her before a grand jury.
Oh.
She said, quote, "I said, wait a minute, are you charging me with murder?" And he said, "Yes." And I went, wait a minute here. Now I'll talk.
I got a story to tell.
Yeah. Turned into Biggie real quick.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I got a story to tell.
Have you heard of the New York Knicks?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, must have been rained out or some shit. So, within hours, she makes a deal to cooperate if she's not prosecuted.
Wow.
I mean, that's all it took was bringing her into the grand jury room.
Right now.
And saying, "We're charging you." And she went, "Well, let's tell you everything." Okay. She said, "After I was given immunity, I just told them everything I knew." She said her boyfriend, Joe Prystash, knew Bob from the gym. He was hired to set up the murder. They had a neighbor involved in it. He was going to shoot and kill her. That's Guidry that we brought in. According to Gip, Prystash hired this guy, Howard Guidry, to be the trigger man. Guidry would get $1,000. Prystash would drive Guidry to the murder scene, pick him up afterwards, and use Gip's cell phone to tell Bob, "Job is done. Call the church." Hey, call the church when you're done. She said, "He told me Bob was going to take his children on Wednesday to church, and that's what they were going to do to wait for her, and that when they were, and that's when they were going to kill her." They said, so they asked Gip, "He told you that?" And she said, "Yes." They said, "Did you ever think of calling the police?"
Never once.
And she said, "Nope." And they said, "You could have stopped it." And she said, "I could have. I really just didn't want to deal with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. I know what I could have done.
Didn't want to deal with it?
Wow.
What the hell is that?
Immunity.
That's like, they left that thing in the back of the fridge that's growing hair because I just didn't feel like dealing with it right now. I'll clean it tomorrow. Like, that's not, there's a murder that's going to take place. I'll just didn't want to deal with it. She said, that sounds disgusting, but it's easier to just not do anything than it is to confront it and say, okay, this is going down. I didn't want to be a part of it. Just didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So
not my bag.
Mary knew Farrah, too.
Really?
They worked out together at the gym. She even knew her. That's what's even more fucked up. She knew her. It's not some just some vision of a stranger off in the distance, some abstract thought. It's a person you know. That's the chick from the gym who drives that car. Like, you know her. So they both worked out. I guess they said to her, had you done the right thing back then? And she said again, she'd still be alive. And they said, well, what were you doing while this was all going on? This guy's at church. They're killing. What were you doing during that time?
Where were you?
She said, I was watching at that particular time. I was watching ice skating.
Well,
this was the whole Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan thing, and ice skating became popular.
Ice skating was huge.
Huge. She said she waited for Price Dash to return. Quote, I asked him if she was dead. That's the only thing I asked. And he said yes. And I said, how do you know? And he said, because I was there and I saw her.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, she said again, I asked if he killed her, and he said yes. And that's how it worked. So, she asked more, and he said, yeah, I just picked up Guidry and the other guy, he was at church. It's all good. And she said, awesome. And then they had sex.
And then they banged.
Then Mary fucked Price Dash after that. Wow. To, I don't know. Whatever. That's murder makes him horny, I guess.
How are you?
That's when then they had sex. Then he left the apartment. Then she dug the shell casings out of the garbage.
Really?
And wrote down the serial number. Yeah. That is.
She's not to be trusted.
She is diabolical, this one, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Wow. And then they said, were you confused about your loyalties to your boyfriend taking the shell casings and throwing them away? And she said, yes, I still love him.
Wow.
Man. Holy shit. The father, Farrah's father, Lex, said, I have no idea what kind of soul she's got. She has no soul. She's a monster. She's the demon. And then the mother, Betty, said, quote, soul of a devil about Mary.
Christ.
That's cold, man. So Farrah's parents heard that they gave Mary immunity. They said they thought of it as a deal with the devil.
Truly. She is a monster.
Betty said, if anybody should be 6 feet underground, it's her, not my daughter. She could have saved my daughter.
Oh, my God.
How about jail?
Yeah,
I mean, she was just watching ice skating. She didn't do it.
You want her murdered?
Yeah. I want her dead on her driveway in front of her kids, if possible. 5 months after the murder, Bob is finally arrested after all this, obviously.
5 months.
5 months he's arrested, charged with capital murder. Death penalty.
Oh, boy.
Certainly on the table here. They said that he was, obviously, in the court documents, he said vocal about his anger, told a million people. We just went over it all. So when talked to, he's handcuffed and being led to jail, he says to reporters, quote, I didn't do it. I'm praying for justice. Okay. One of the cops said he is so self-serving, so egotistical, a classic narcissist that believes the world revolves around him. He just couldn't fathom that he would not be granted custody, and he did not want to pay child support.
And he felt like he didn't deserve that.
Yeah, he should do this. So March 1st, 1995, they also arrest Guidry.
Yeah.
He comes in. Guidry wasn't arrested for this, though. He was arrested for a bank robbery. Guidry pulled off a bank robbery. Well, didn't pull it off. He got arrested for it. And the gun used during that robbery is the same gun he used to kill Farrah. He didn't throw it away like he said.
Oh, my God.
He's like, I got myself a free gun. They also determined that gun purchased by Bob.
Oh, really?
Bob. Not even Price Dash. Bob, which connects him to Guidry.
Oh, no.
Without Price Dash. That's how he got it. So that's how Bob is in there. At the time of his arrest, he had 3 weapons in his backpack, one of which was a .38 revolver. Mm-hmm. And, yes. So registration check on the revolver indicated it had been purchased by Bob Fratta in 1982. It's been his for a decade. He gave it to him. Didn't even buy it just for this.
Long time.
Yep, a firearms examiner testified that one of the bullet fragments recovered from Farah's garage had been fired from that revolver, ballistics match.
Of course it was.
The other one was too damaged to tell. Guidry gives a full confession to the sheriff's department. Fuck yeah, what's he got to lose? Christ. They said he was questioned not long at all, and he just spilled it, everything. He even went with police to the murder scene to show him exactly how he did it and where everybody was standing. He said, quote, I pulled the gun up and I shot her once in the head, and she fell to the side, and as I started to run out, she wasn't really dead, so I turned around, closed my eyes, and I shot her one more time in the head. That's what the mob tells you. 2 in the head, Jimmy. So at his trial later on, they're going to, obviously all this shit is a lot. They tested a payphone with their mobile phone, and then Price Dash dropped Guidry off with a revolver and a cell phone at Farah's house. Guidry climbed the fence into the backyard and waited inside the children's playhouse. He sat in the playhouse and waited for her.
Gross.
What a fucking monster. All these people are monsters. This is a terrible group of people. Every single one of these people.
Have some pride in yourself.
Oh, my God. He even called the payphone where Price Dash was waiting to tell him that Farah wasn't home yet. And they said, keep hanging out in the playhouse. Pretend to have a tea party. I don't know. Do something. Short time later, Farah drove up. Guidry left the playhouse. He tried to open the side door to the garage, but it was locked. So when he went around to the front, when Farah opened the car door, that's when he shot her once in the head and shot her a second time in the head. Okay. He then climbed back over the fence and waited for Price Dash to pick him up. He gave the revolver back to Price Dash, and that he expected $1,000 there. So they get Price Dash in, sit him down. He immediately confesses to everything as well. It was exactly the same as Guidry's, lined up perfectly.
Yeah.
And with cell phone records, payphone records, everything lines up that these two are telling the truth. Price Dash said, yes, he was supposed to get $1,000 for his participation, which is exactly what Guidry said. Price Dash was supposed to get a couple $1,000s and a Jeep for being the middleman and driver.
Yeah.
So this is when shit gets real weird. At one point, Bob's released on bond.
What?
It was crazy. Then he gets put back in. There's a guy named Bill Planter now. Enter this fucking guy. He tries to convince, this is before Bob is arrested. He, this whole time, is trying to convince the Backer family, Lex and Betty, Farah's parents, that the police are never going to be able to catch Bob. Look, he's going to walk free, I'm telling you. So for $10,000, I'll make sure he's never found. I'll make sure he disappears and is never found. This guy's solicitate, I'll kill him for you. What's happening outside of Houston?
Holy shit. You guys want justice, but how about some street justice?
I'll give you justice. I'll make sure his body's never found, he said.
Wow.
Planter's arrested because Lex tells on him.
Yeah.
Because he's a decent human being.
Yeah.
And isn't plotting murders against people. And in a search of his car, Planter's car, it reveals guns, knives, and explosives.
You've got to call the police on that, right? You don't just say, no, that's fine. Thank you so much, though.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You got to call the cops.
Right. Yeah, what if he does it on a Humble? What are we supposed to do now? It's like, no.
Or what if he goes to Robert and that guy gives us, I don't know, whatever else he's got in exchange for us being killed.
That's the other thing. Oh, by the way, Price Dash is the masked man with the stun gun, we find out. He was the guy that broke in and did that. So we find out that Planter had served with the sheriff's department and a constable's office as well, and was briefly the chief of police in Splendora, Texas.
And he's willing to just go put out contracts now?
Just not even the people came to him.
Right.
He goes to them. Y'all need somebody to kill that guy for you? Nope. All right, just checking. I'll be here in case you need me. What the fuck is that? Cold calling for murder?
Telemarket murder. That's amazing.
I've never heard of murder cold calls before. Have you considered murdering your problems away? I have the solution for you.
Wow.
So
that's a hell of a balance transfer.
That's wild, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
Oh, God. So this guy gets arrested. His attorney, once he pleads guilty and all this shit, argues that Planter would be a good candidate for probation.
Okay.
He tried to set up a murder. He cited his years as a police officer and his unblemished past, but the prosecutor called him a time bomb.
He's with literal bombs.
Yeah. The jury sentences him to, you, sir, may fuck off 17 years in prison for planter.
Shit.
For trying to get a...
to Texas vengeance.
Wow. The range of punishment was anywhere from probation to life in prison. Judge's discretion. That's a big one.
Right.
Yes, for a conspiracy thing. The jurors hear from Lex, the father, Farrah's father, who was instrumental in developing this evidence. Yeah. Obviously, he had to do a whole thing. He wore a hidden recording device and taped all of Planter's pitches. So Bob goes to trial.
Oh, boy.
We'll go through this quick because we know all the evidence.
Yeah.
Obviously. So defense attorneys argue that Bob suffers from paranoid delusional thinking from a brain injury.
Oh, he has an injury?
That's what they're saying. Also, from witnessing his father suffering a deadly heart attack during a hunting trip when he was a teenager.
Okay.
That gives you a brain injury. They said that he was emotionally stunted, seeing himself as a victim, and was fearful of losing custody of his children. Okay. Duh. Yeah. Prosecutors say, no, he's a narcissist who manipulates everyone around him. They called him a mastermind with a long history of psychosocial impairment and a threat to the public.
Yeah.
I would say so. This whole thing was so casual.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a huge threat.
He's a terrible person. He tried to get everybody to do it for him.
And nobody's closet carpeting is safe if this guy's on the street.
No.
Nobody's. It's none of it.
Poop.
So Gip testifies that she knew everything ahead of time, everything happened, all that.
Yeah.
That she testifies to everything. Mary testifies. Guidry testifies.
Yeah.
Another witness said that, quote, Bob approached 7 people to kill his wife, and that this guy knew of. 7 people that this guy knew. Mike Edens is his name, a bodybuilder who worked out with Bob, and said that he could have been the one on death row if he wasn't smarter than that. He said, I could end up there. He goes, but I would never think to do that, like to kill somebody.
Thank God I'm smart enough to not take murder for hire at Gold's Gym. What?
Yeah, thank fuck that 24-Hour Fitness's fucking bulletin board didn't have a big draw for me. It's next to guitar lessons and somebody's personal training. Kill my wife. Like this, it's a picture of a Jeep.
Yeah.
Like this Jeep.
Do you like Jeeps?
Free Jeep giveaway. All I gotta do is kill my wife. Verdict comes in.
Yeah.
Guilty as balls.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Holy shit, you couldn't be more guilty. Sentencing comes around. Death penalty on the table.
Wow.
But he didn't actually pull the trigger. So
right.
Who knows what the juries will do? You, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty.
Bob.
Bob's getting a lethal injection, according to this jury.
He's earned it, though. I mean,
this guy's a dangerous asshole.
He tested Planet Fitness's judgment zone.
Yeah, he's testing out that fucking
no judging of anybody here.
He asked someone, "Would you kill my wife?" And they made a face, and he pointed to the sign. No judgment.
You're eating pizza in the gym. Come on.
That's it. Death penalty.
Yeah.
Farrah's parents spoke about the length of time it takes to actually get a person put to death, and they're not happy about it.
Yeah.
Her father said, I personally think that we're not executing these people fast enough.
Yeah, that's a very Texas thing to say, sir.
Yeah, when it's your daughter and you know it's 18 people said, I fucking helped him, I did it, he did it, then but I mean...
I get it.
Yeah, if we do it faster, we'd be killing way more people that we find are innocent later, so that would be hard.
Ask the Judgment or the Innocent Project how that's going for that.
Yeah, we've seen a lot. He said, I wish I could be the one to finish him off. That would give me satisfaction.
That's a bad man, too.
That's a fair thing. Yeah. In my opinion, that should be it. The state's not going to do it for you. If you want to fucking kill him yourself, we'll put you in a room with him and sanction it. That's fine, but we're not going to do your dirty work for you. You know what I mean?
That's a frightening man.
I think that's what it should be.
I'd love to kill some people.
Well, I mean, if someone kills your daughter, though.
Yeah, I understand that part. I'm just saying, is he saying just this particular one we're taking too long, or
yes, all of them?
Okay,
he said him. I wish I could be the one to finish him off.
That's fine.
That's different. Yeah, I don't want to kill everybody, but if you kill my daughter, I'll take your head off with my bare hands.
He's saying finish him off, not finish them off.
Yeah, not them. Him.
Okay, all right, fine.
So Guidry now and Prystash, they're going to have their problems as well.
Sure.
Now, his kids, this is a nightmare for his kids.
I can't imagine.
Now, Bradley, the oldest, he said he didn't care, quote, if my daddy stays in jail forever.
Yeah.
Said he didn't care. A clinical psychologist said children may feel betrayed, but it doesn't mean they stop loving the person who brought the hurt. In this case, the children are going to permanently love their father. Except they don't seem to. That's the difference. No. Lex and Betty sought permanent custody of the kids, and they do. They take the kids, change their last name back to Backer. They lose the Frada and all that. Just forget. Let's wipe this from your brains here. Amber, who was 3 at the time when her mother died, said she had some difficulty understanding what happened. The grandfather here, Lex, said she thinks mom has gone to heaven and is coming back. That's what she thought at the time. Oh, she'll be back. Adding that the girl once begged him to bring her mother back so she could give her one more hug. That's terribly, terribly sad.
I'd want to go finish him off, too.
And she used to talk to the picture of her mother.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'd kill that guy in court over that shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So all the kids said they remember her mom. Their mom. The one guy here, the psychologist, he said children are very good at reading the adult world and complying with it. If they see distress in adults, they're going to avoid anything that might cause more distress. Sure. Which is true. They're like animals do the same thing. Like, dogs do that. They have that feeling.
It's called obedience.
It's called a feeling. So they said that the psychologist said that they need a neutral third party. They said they have pictures of their mother everywhere, but they don't have any mementos of their father. And the psychologist said they need a neutral third party to help them understand that it's okay to have good memories of their father, as well as exactly what's happened in the criminal case. The reality is, if your father was a good father, you have good memories, you can have those memories, and they should be separate of this, which psychologically, they said that because even though some terrible things have happened, that's an understatement. Jesus, not all of the memories of the father are negative. It's wrong for them to pretend their father didn't exist because that was a sizable chunk of their lives that would be erased, which is very fair. That's psychologically, not for him, for them. You know what I mean? So Farah's mother and father, Lex and Betty, adopt the children. They said when they turned 18, they went to visit him one time. Oh. This is I know Amber did this. That quote, they asked him one question and he didn't answer and they left.
Why?
Yep, it's why. That's the one. He wouldn't answer it, so they said, bye, asshole. Not interested in you. We have a quote from Amber on that later. Price Dash's trial, obviously. Closing statements, defense attorneys try to convince the jury that the evidence in the case was obtained illegally. That's the point here. Yeah, Price Dash was not given access to an attorney while giving his statement as he desired. The police searched his car and home without warrants. Technical stuff. So the jury takes 17 minutes to convict him of capital murder.
Minutes.
They say it takes 45 to fill out the paperwork. Do they get like a speed typist in here? We got to get this asshole guilty now.
We don't fill out paperwork. Y'all do that. We're going home.
Fry that sumbitch. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. So sentencing here for Price Dash comes around, and that's when they talk all about how he had broken in with a mask to frighten her and how he set this whole thing up. The kids testify they were screaming, terrified for their mother. You know, all of that. Closings in this, the defense attorneys try to persuade the jury to consider Price Dash's, quote, interest in religion since he's been arrested.
Yeah.
He's found God now since he's been arrested, so we should consider this. Jail preachers testified at his sentencing hearing that Price Dash has been a good Bible study student in the weekly jail sessions. They said he's quiet and attentive and seems sincere. In the closing, In the closing remarks, the defense attorney waved a Bible in front of jurors, pleading with them to give his client a life sentence rather than death. Yeah. He read passages from the Bible and talked about repentance and forgiveness. Oh, my God. But the prosecutor said, ignore that guilt trip, is what they said. and told the jurors that they're not in church and that the defense attorney's not a preacher. She said, Prystash is an evil man who's been in and out of jail since he was 20. He's got 7 felony convictions in Florida, 2 theft convictions here, an involvement in an assault case in Montgomery County, and he's a piece of shit. They said he'd even be a threat to the prison population. Get him out.
Oh, my God.
You, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty for you, too.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets it, he gets it, too.
That's the thing. If the guy, as you get closer to the person who pulled the trigger, more death to penalties, I would imagine.
You would have to.
Guidry's trial. Now, he's young, remember.
Yeah.
He is found guilty, obviously.
Oh, boy.
I mean, Christ, he's found with the gun, with the ballistics and everything else. So during the penalty phase, they argued that Guidry deserved a death penalty because of his history of violence and the heinous nature of the murder. Yeah. They said he was implicated in the robbery of an auto parts store and a bank robbery since the murder.
Since the murder, both.
Yes, an inmate testified that Guidry was involved in both crimes, and a bank teller testified she feared for her life when they pointed guns in her face, which was the same murder weapon they used to kill her. They said the Guidry's defense attorneys asked jurors to consider his age, his drug use, his lack of education. They said the other possible sentence was life in prison with no parole eligibility for 40 years. Okay. And they said 40 years in prison is not a gift. It's a penalty, his attorney said. I don't know anyone who survived 40 years. Even if he goes for life, he's still a dead man. So the jury indicated they were deadlocked at the end of the day.
Really?
And so the judge said, okay, great, then you're sequestered in a hotel tonight. Think about it and come back in the fucking morning.
We're not stopping.
So the next day, 2 hours in, they come back and they have reached a verdict. You, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty for you, too. 3 for 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it gets interesting.
Yeah.
1998. Guidry is on death row. He is one of 6 inmates who attempt to escape from death row.
Really?
Yes, one of them, Martin Garul, 29, became the first Texas death row inmate to escape in 64 years. He got out. He actually made it. They placed stuffed dummies under their bed covers and hid on the top of a roof for hours at night. So they did the counts. They thought they were there. Then they took off. 6 of these inmates here, they surrender, and later on they have to surrender under a hail of gunfire as they approach the perimeter fence.
At the prison?
Yes, at the prison.
They didn't even get out?
One did. Garul used bed covers to crawl over the wire on top of the fence, but his body was found a few days later in a creek where he drowned about a mile from the prison.
Wow.
He escaped and went and drowned in a fucking creek.
Unbelievable.
That is crazy. Another one, Wilkerson, the guy who drowned in the creek, is the son of a sheriff's deputy, and he was scheduled for execution on the 14th there. So other people, Eric Dwayne Cathy, Howard Guidry in on this as well, of course, obviously. Clearly he's in on it. Ponchai Wilkerson, Henry Dunn, Gustavo Garcia, James Clayton. It's good to see it's a rainbow coalition of escaped murderers. That's
a real melting pot.
That's nice. You like to see that, really. Working together. 2000, Planter, remember him?
Yeah.
I'll take care of all your problems for you for 1995. He's like an Earl Scheib paint job, this guy. What, do you got problems? The Texas Court of Appeals orders the acquittal of him in 1990. Yes. The acquittal here, they said he'll be released from prison and have no conviction on his records. They said the defense attorney said this is a major victory. I guess so.
I would yeah.
His other attorney said, your typical criminal defendant in Texas has a better chance of winning the pick six than basically going free because the appellate court has found the evidence legally insufficient to support a conviction. Because that's what they did. Even though it's the witnesses there, they have it on tape, everything. That's fucking nuts. The prosecutor who handled the appeal was unavailable for comment, but his boss said he was not sure whether Planter could be retried, but said it would be unlikely because of double jeopardy concerns. And they said, I think the facts have been litigated and they can't relitigate the facts. They get one bite at the apple.
Wow.
But the conviction was then reaffirmed after prosecutors won a rehearing by the appeals court.
What is happening?
But it was then reversed again by the Texas Criminal Court of Appeals. or Court of Criminal Appeals, which entered a judgment of acquittal, and they let him out. That is fucking amazing.
Is he a piece of shit or is he not?
He is, but he's out walking the streets. So his attorney said, some people will probably say that a guilty man walked on a technicality. I can say that's absolutely not the case. The appeals court found quite simply that no rational juror could have determined beyond a reasonable doubt that Bill Planter was guilty. Period. Paragraph.
Except
That's
they did. What?
He said he was framed. That was his whole thing here. He was framed and set up by Harris County deputies and detectives who took umbrage at comments he made to Lex Backer about the job they were doing to try to solve the case. So they set him up for murder and had his voice put on a tape.
Right.
That's. I mean, I'm not putting it against anybody, but whatever. He said that. He said, this is Planter, that he knew at the second meeting with Lex Backer that he was being set up, but he went ahead with it because, quote, I wasn't doing anything illegal.
No, you cold called and asked if you would love to be hired for murder.
The fuck?
They said sure after speaking to the police, and probably wore a wire to meet with you because Lex was fucking terrified. You idiot!
Yeah. You fucking wow.
Isn't that how it goes?
Well, he said he wasn't doing anything illegal. He said, quote, we're going to have to leave Texas, him and his wife, he said. We're going to have to sell everything we own and leave the state because they're obviously setting me up for murder raps. I got to get out of here. He said, I've been an election judge for both the Republicans and the Democrats. I was chairman of my civic club. I worked for police departments. I helped kids in the neighborhood. Then I go to help this fellow and I wake up and I'm sitting in a prison cell. I'm going to sell what I own in Texas and I'm moving out of the state.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Well, you're a free man to do it, so good luck.
Lex Backer said that he's disappointed that Planter didn't serve more time, but he never expected him to serve 17 years. He said, for his sake, I hope that he's learned his lesson. I just want him to leave me alone. We've gone through a lot of trauma, and we just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. 2000, more trouble for Guidry. This guy is a party. 2 death row inmates, who are both murderers, obviously, were holding a 57-year-old female correctional officer hostage on Monday night, as the police, as the newspaper. God. They said, all we can do is hope, but we're not overly optimistic, the spokesperson for the Criminal Department of Justice said. Jesus Christ. However, another spokesman for the prison said that I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing. They said negotiators are talking to the inmates, both of whom were involved in the 1998 escape. Guidry and the other guy here. They were talking to them from about 30 feet inside the unit. They said prison guards, normally unarmed, had canisters with 37-millimeter rubberized ammunition and chemical agents that can be used if necessary. Okay. The inmates are Ponchai, it's Wilkerson, so it's the other guy, not the drowned guy, and Howard Guidry. They had weapons. One was a sharpened metal rod, and the other's a metal bar used to pry open food slots and cells. Huh. They said that they handcuffed Officer Jeanette Bledsoe, whose son is also a guard on the unit, and they took them all in here. They said that they were walking Guidry back to his cell from rec, and they passed Wilkerson's cell. Wilkerson somehow jimmied his door open, and he and Guidry jumped the officer. Their demands are better conditions, such as increased visitation and less time in isolation cells where they spend 23 hours a day. Right. They had been moved here because they tried to escape from a less strict death row. So that's kind of their own fault on that one. So 2003, this is fucking amazing here. A new trial is ordered for Howard Guidry.
No fucking way.
Yep, they said that that he was tricked into making a confession and that hearsay testimony contributed to his conviction. That's amazing. Guidry's lawyer said, it's extremely rare, especially in Texas. I'm ecstatic. No shit.
Everybody in this case
is happening?
The most ecstatic. This is nuts. Everything keeps benefiting the bad guy.
Yeah, so he gets a new trial, Guidry. And he is convicted again.
Good.
And you, sir, may fuck off. Another death penalty for you. 2 for 2. 2007, Bob appeals here. He appeals saying that he did not believe that the trial was conducted in accordance with the law, said that the jury had been worked into a frenzy by prosecutors and that they had a bloodlust there. with all the religious fervor and all that kind of thing there. So the appeals court reverses the trial court and found the evidence used to convict. This was for Planter there. That's for Planter. In 2007, Judge Harmon here overturning his conviction, Frater wrote her asking how to end the appeals and allow his execution to proceed. Okay. So he wrote the judge and said, Bob, rather than that, he said, how do I get killed?
Just kill me. Yeah.
He said, I'd rather be killed than live in this daily torture and torment. So rather than that, in October 1st, 2001, Bob's conviction is overturned.
Really?
A judge says the confessions of Guidry and Prystash should not have been allowed into evidence.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Wow is all I have to say for that shit. Now, while he's on death row, Amber visits him, the youngest kid, the daughter.
Yeah.
She said, wow, this is wild. Quote, he had a grin on his face like he had no emotion at all. He had the nerve to tell me to please go to Christian counseling. By then, I'd heard enough from him. He's a psychopath. And she left.
He had a grin like a doll.
Yeah. Because it's an affect. It's not real. Not real. He's not capable of that.
God, what a monster.
He's a psychopath. He's not capable of that. He's got everything he's ever done's a fake.
Asked her to go to Christian counseling to forgive him or what?
Just to feel better or whatever. And she's like, don't give me advice from death row.
Get over it with Jesus. What?
That's wild. So, 2009, trial number 2 for Bob.
Okay.
He complains that the trial court allowed the state to present evidence that he wanted to watch his wife engage in sexual activities, have her defecate in his mouth, urinate on him, and choke him while masturbating. He asserts that such graphic specifics were unnecessary in the guilt phase and therefore were not relevant. He argues it was not necessary for the state to present evidence of sexual deviance to show motive because there was a plethora of evidence that he was angry about the divorce and you had enough. You didn't have to kick me while I was down, is what they said. So May 15th, 2009, 15 years after the actual act, the jury finds him guilty again.
Okay, good. God.
Yeah, guilty again. Yeah, that took real quick, too.
Too many of these assholes in Texas are getting second chances.
It's wild. So they said, we're seeing more and more high-profile defendants that are peddling their rights for books and movies. We wanted to make sure that that was in the judgment, that he cannot in any way profit from his rights. So they actually got him worse than he was before.
Good.
So they say another death penalty for you, by the way. Yeah. You're going to death. So Thursday, May 21st, 2009, they talked about the prosecutor called Bob's counsel, Randy McDonald, to notify her of her intent to introduce a recorded conversation and some photographs that were seized from his jail cell. Okay. She told this lawyer that Bob had stated in the conversation that he'd received some nude photographs of someone from King. Based on that conversation, deputies searched his cell and seized the photographs he described, along with some other items as contraband. They informed the lawyer that she intended to introduce the telephone conversation and the photographs into evidence, and whatever. So the investigator contained a CD copy of the recorded conversation and was unable to play it. They got him a working copy. It was a big mess. They scanned through the emails in an effort to identify Betsy, the person to whom the appellant had been speaking. They discovered in the past she had received emails from someone named Betsy Gomez that were potentially used as evidence. So they had all these other things. Sentencing, he requested a mistrial. They said, you're getting the death penalty. So that's how that worked. Oh, also, the lawyer wanted no part of this shit anymore.
Oh, really? His lawyer quit?
Yeah, no, just done. She said she's not ready to present a closing argument because she'd been distracted by having to defend herself because of the thing with some weird records and photographs and all that. So she said, I don't know what the remedy is, but I'm asking for a mistrial, maybe a continuance. I have the right to at least prepare an argument for him. At this point, I can't argue. And if we go forward, that's fine, but I will not be able to participate. So there you go. Now, they point out that his only criminal conviction is murder. That's it. Just one thing.
Yeah,
he said
that's like the worst.
It's the worst one. In the 14 years between the first and second trials, his mental health was assessed by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice every 90 days. He's never found to be at risk for hurting himself or others. it's crazy. So he said he had been working near sharp objects in the garment factory, and that was fine. He never threatened or harmed anybody. His one disciplinary infraction was overturned on appeal and was ordered removed from his records. He said that the jury relied heavily on psychological evaluations and the facts of the case that were presented to the first jury, and it's just ridiculous, and it's a death penalty again. Get the fuck out of here. So he's going to obviously appeal that, and they argue, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Fuck him. He's on death row. So he's continuing, he said, to try to find real friends and what he calls real friendships from death row.
Yeah.
He has a profile on inmateconnection.com.
Oh, what an
Oh, definitely. Patreon.com for the prisoner dating game. Yeah. And we can find people like this. A website that describes its purpose as to make a difference in the lives of inmates serving prison terms. He goes by Bobby on the site and describes himself as single, which is accurate.
Asshole.
His pitch is, quote, "Hi, I'm Bobby and I'm looking for real friendships. Your age, sex, looks, marital status, nationality, race, and preferences don't matter to me. I'm open to any and all. Yeah, I'm on death row, for Christ's sake.
I'm a piece of shit.
I'm single, easygoing, non-judgmental, honest, don't play games, and have a good sense of humor, and I'm open to all topics, especially pooping in my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm also a good listener if you need someone to talk to or a shoulder to lean on. I'm here for you. If you're tired of... a shoulder to pee on. If you're tired of dealing with the superficiality of social media sites where many people get caught up with portraying themselves in an exaggerated manner in hopeless quest to meet someone else's ideals, if you're willing to disconnect from an electronic device long enough to explore the possibility of a rich, warm, intimate human experience, then write me. I want and accept you as you are, unless you're short or have small tits. Then it's a little less. Let's have a relaxed friendship based on openness and honesty with equal reciprocity and meaningful exchange, and enjoy the wonderful rewards that come from it."
Reciprocity.
You twat fuck. So, January 9th, 2023, execution day.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for Bob, anyway. This year.
Yeah.
It was recorded. He had an interview recorded right for that. He said he had once supported the death penalty, but in his experience on death row, it's changed his mind.
I supported it for others.
For other people. For me, not so much. Not for wife killers, though.
Yeah.
He said, quote, "I never gave any thought to the death penalty, even though I was a police officer. And now that I'm going through it, I can understand how it's so ridiculously tormenting for the inmates to be put through this." Took you this, huh? To have you knowing the day and time and everything you're going to die, and it's prolonged and everything that they put you through beforehand, this is torturous. That's always my thing, is if you're going to have a death penalty, you got to come in and just blow someone's brains out while they sleep or something. Because when they take someone out, when like a murderer takes someone out in the middle of a field and points a gun and says, "I'm going to kill you, dig your grave," and all that, that's extra cruel, and you'll get extra time in prison or death penalty for that. That's exactly what you're doing. Yeah. That's not, I mean, that's fine, but I don't know, whatever. So he said it's been kind of an enlightening experience as far as I never gave any thought to the death penalty, but I can understand how it's so ridiculously tormenting now. He said also that he believed that there were systematic issues that prevented his meritorious claims to halt his execution being heard. Now, there's a delay.
Oh.
It's delayed for more than an hour until the appeals clear the U.S. Supreme Court, and it does. They go, yeah, go ahead and kill him. That's fine. Go ahead and do that. Now, he was among the Texas death row inmates who were saying that the drugs used in executions were expired and unsafe.
Oh.
That was what they were trying to do, but that lawsuit failed to stop shit. The execution comes, by the way, Texas in the 90s did away with being able to pick a last meal, so he just got whatever they were having, unfortunately. Couple's oldest son, Bradley, and Farah's brother, Zane, attended the execution.
Really?
Yes, they did. No witnesses attended on his behalf, though. A spiritual advisor stood with him, though. And they held his prayer book on the pillow next to his head and all that kind of thing. And they asked him, "Do you have a final statement, Bob?"
Say the words, Bob.
His fucking son is sitting there.
Yeah.
He could say
anything.
Something.
Yeah.
Sorry. Something he could try to focus this on his son.
Yeah.
Instead, he says, "Nope."
No.
I'm done. Yeah, what do I have to say? Fuck it. So
wow.
That was that. They then resumed praying, and they stuck him, and he snored loudly 6 times and then dropped fucking dead. So there, he's dead.
Wow.
Price, Dash, and Guidry are just on death row still. We don't know.
Still sitting there waiting, huh?
Still awaiting time. Guidry sounds dangerous, though.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
He's fucking dangerous.
That
That's
kid,
2 escapes.
At 18, murdered and pulled 2 very dangerous robberies after a murder.
Then escaped death row.
Yeah.
Then in death row, jacked up a guard and tried to escape again. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
They're all dangerous.
Yeah,
don't get me
Sure.
wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's the action arm of this group. Like he actually will do this shit.
Yeah.
It's not just an abstract idea. So, wow. If you like that show, tell the world about it. Get on Apple Podcasts or any other thing that you listen to, any other app that you listen on Spotify, and review the show. Give us 5 stars. Say something nice. It really does help the show go up the charts a lot, so that's helpful. And while you're thinking about reviews, listen to Your Stupid Opinions, our new podcast. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It is. We were done when we went, holy shit, that was great. That's
terrific.
how good the show is. It's so good, and we've had great feedback. So check that out wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure to rate and review on that too. It's brand new. And tell your friends and do all that kind of thing. Also, listen to Crime and Sports virtual live show October the 26th.
Yeah,
and it's our Halloween spectacular, so it's going to be available for a week after that, all through Halloween. You can listen and watch it as many times as you want, just like a regular live show. But you are in your living room, in your yard, and the porch, wherever the fuck you want to be, anywhere in the world, anywhere, doesn't matter. We are there, so get in there and buy that for us. Definitely, it's a good time. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com/virtual live. While you're at ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com, pick up some merch and also your tickets for December 2nd in Dallas, Texas. Yes. Because we're coming there as well. So check that out. Hang out with us there. Patreon.com/crimeandsports. Holy shit. Anybody $5 a month or above, a mere cup of coffee, will get you way more than that. 200 plus back episodes.
All of it.
All the Patreon, everything we could give you. New episodes every other week. 2 new ones. 1 Crime and Sports, 1 Small Town Murder. You get it all this week for Crime and Sports. We're going to talk about the show Pros vs. Joes, which is a show where they take regular guys off the street and pit them against very recently retired, very famous professional athletes in the sports they played, and it's just as ridiculous as it sounds. And we'll watch how badly, we'll laugh at some of the videos. That'll be a lot of fun. We got to do an American Gladiators one of these days, too.
What a show that used to be.
That
documentary is terrific. Yeah.
And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about Sarah Boone, the alleged suitcase killer who zipped her boyfriend up in a suitcase and was like, I thought he was fine. What are you talking about? The interrogation. It's crazy. We don't know. Allegedly. The trial's still waiting on it, but we'll talk all about all of that shit and more. That's patreon.com/crimeandsports. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show right fucking now. Jimmy, hit me with the names of the most wonderful people who've ever existed.
This week's executive producers are Ali Deutsch, Linda Hansel, Kyle Norweg, Jordan Bennett, Susanna Platt, Carol Braun. Hello, Carol. Daniel Mark, Vincenzo Giappa Caponolo.
Vincenzo
Caponello.
Oh,
Vincenzo, you son of a bitch.
Oh, get
Madison.
out of here,
Madison, Ray Hall, Leslie Savage.
Sorry.
It's been a minute. Bunny Wood, Russell Throckmorton, you are all fantastic people. Thank you so much for everything you do. Other producers this week are Tycoon Sam Whipple, Shitta Perlman's mechanic, Tyler Frazier's music. Oh, Tyler Frazier music. Tyler Frazier makes music, so go find it. Peyton Meadows, Janice Hill, Harry Dangler. Also other producers this week, Cheryl Blanco, Alyssa Mendez, Liz with no last name, George Battle, Anine, Annan, C. Jenny Milkinen, Millikanen. No, Malilican.
Malilican.
I don't know that name. Skylar with no last name. Elias the Dude. Kelly Frederick. Victoria Spabui. Sterling with no last name. Sarah Gibbs. Todd Kinsey. It's just Kinsey. Olivia Popescu. Popescu. Papa. All right. Nikki with no last name. Zaida Moncrief. Cyan. Cian. Sean. Chris Peterson. Brendan Burkhart. Judy Croney. Destiny Moore. Danielle Borland. Daniel August. Peyton Gingrich. All right. Katie Barman. Ute with no last name. The Ute. Tree Utes. Jennifer Miller. Chase Rutledge. Chris with no last name. Bill Tripp. Brandy with no last name. Mary Johnson. Stephanie Peters. Ashley Eaton. Ben Hilton Smith. Lindsay Holcomb. Madison Elliott. Will S. Shelby Tooley. Theodora Moody. Logan Gewer. Cameron Preeb, Mill with no last name, just M-I-L. Christopher Nagy, Sharon M.K., Kelly Gillespie, she's an artist and she's terrific. Gertej Baines, Gertige, Tabana Barker, Tobana, Tababana, Blake Bratu, Jennifer Ellison, I Love You, Ellen, Little Baby, Lucums, the little baby, J. Ham Gurum, Brad with no last name, Don O'Kreen, Drew with no last name, Ilana Nemerson, Katie Clements, Marissa Assarizi, Morgan Alford, Emily Clark, Francesca with no last name, Kyrie Hightower, Heather Ranchetti.
Let's go with Ranchetti.
Rossetti. There's no N. God damn.
Otherwise, it sounds like a small ranch or a ranchette. It's a small ranch.
It's a racette. It's a small race, a very small race.
It's a racette.
It's a racette.
Just around the living
Aaron
room.
Shaw, David Dorrington, Rayana Madsen, C. Spice, Alan Werner, Cheyenne, Keanu Yankish, Alex Stovetop. What? That might be a typo. Robert Spear, Conchessa Chloe Hissey, Jeffrey Pope, Zach Hodges, Pizza Bagel, BKLN. Oh, Brooklyn. Monica in Surprise. That's Pizza Bagels in Brooklyn, I believe. Is there a pizza bagel place, or do you just you just mean like the microwavable or oven?
In the oven, with the little pepperoni squares on it. Oh, baby.
The frozen ones. All right. Rachel Telfor, Mikey with no last name, Candace Allen, Brady Nolan, Bird Forever, Zella Fields, Michelle Brunel, Katie with no last name, the letter S. This show brought to you by the letter S. Dave Shar, Kim with no last name, Walter Manieri, John McGlory, Gene McGlory, Nick James, Jason Yount, G Van Vloten, Fresh Floyd, Caitlin and RJ Gibson, Danny Grizzle, Alan Johns, Mouse and Ivy, Teresa Reed, Tally 713, Haley, or Hale, Thale, all right. Gnarly with no last name, Lake and Die, A. Delicia. Delicia. That can't be right. Michelle Carr, Leola, Sarah Bell, Sarah Abacina, Danielle Smith, Angela Cobb, John Newton, Jay Connor, Kristen Kennedy, Michael Vasquez, Chelsea Rogers, Alexander Hill, Hall, Derek Young, Noah Gottlieb, Courtney Lair, Dana Smith, Rodney Erickson, Joe and Janelle, Lisa Ellis, David Ryan, Stephanie Cordray, Brian, nope, that's Frank Butt Ram, I don't believe it. Hey, Cassidy with no last name, Elizabeth Morales, Phoebe Rose, Maddie Nick, Kara Scott, Caitlin Williams, Josh with no last name, Sean Smith, Amy McKenna, display name John Don with no last name, Neil Patel, Shalisa Young, Katie Cross, Jeff Pez, Sydney Trevis, Tara with no last name, Emily Gustke, Justin Preston, Kenneth Enoch, Neil McKellar, Robin Brissett, Michael Dolan, Joe Mitchell, Madison Asbury, Jay Smith, Christine with no last name, Soraya McNair, Anne-Marie Perez, Sean with no last name, James Gatt, Shaq with no last name, Cindy Lanchette, Lisa Tinoco, Michael DeMello. Yeah, it's just like a poor man's house. With
Shaq
a CK.
Like that. No,
D. This show also brought to you by the letter D. Schulden, Kai, Louise Yassel, Stephanie Ross, Angie German, Chris Logan, Catherine Dunn, Desiree Thomas, Arlo Kronig, Amanda Madden, Baby Mouse, and called Snowflake, Kyle Marinara, codename I4T, Matt Waugh or Wog or Woff, David Peel, James Baxter, Drew and Ellie, Katie Williams, Valerie with no last name, Amanda Spellman, April Jean or possibly Jean, Kev P, John Honeycutt, Regina Calamette Collins, and all of our patrons. You're fucking incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts.
It's really
cannot thank you enough.
The support that you've offered
it's
for
wild.
Everything we do
is
incredible, and especially Patreon, but new shows and
it's amazing.
Everything we do, you guys are right with us. So thank you so much for being a part of it.
It feels incredible. Thank
really
you so much for doing that for us. If you want to follow the show on social media, we're at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and you know how to look shows up on social media. You'll find it there. Yeah. So check that out. You want to follow us, you can look us up on the site, shutupandgivememurder.com. Links are all there. Keep coming back every week. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.